Welcome everyone to the League of Legends official Ultimate Sylas guide for Season 12. If you don't know who I am, I'm Armoon, a multi-season high elo Sylas main, and I have achieved the official rank 1 with Sylas for the past 3 years. In this video, I'm going to teach you everything about Sylas: runes, builds, abilities, combos, tips, tricks, and much more. In the recent changes of Season 12, most importantly being the durability update, everyone is looking for the best person to play, and I can confidently say that Sylas is not only perhaps the best mid laner in the game, but also the most fun. If you watch this video from beginning to end, you will get to the rank of Diamond at the least. So let's get right into it and start with the question that you're probably all wondering: why should I play Sylas? Well, in Season 12, Riot performed one of the biggest patches in all of League of Legends history, the durability patch. A lot changed within the game's entirety, but one champion benefited more than anyone without most people even realizing it, and that was Sylas. Sylas has always been one of the best mid laners in the entire game, but he always had one fallback that kept him from being the top, until now, and that was his laning phase. With the durability patch, Sylas does not get bullied in the laning phase, and this allows him to farm and get XP when normally ranged matchups would harass him so much that he would have to recall before even getting to level 3. This is huge for Sylas, and this finally allows him to actually challenge these matchups. In the past, where an Orianna or a Cassiopeia would literally render Sylas to stay at his tower all game, they are now challenged by an actual mid laner that can take poke and dish it back as well. Now, a question that a lot of people ask is if Sylas is a good idea for low elo, or if he's just too hard to master. And the answer is actually that he is the best champion to play, whether you're low elo or high elo. Sylas is the most diverse champion in the game, allowing him to take an ultimate of an enemy champion. That's more than 150 different ults. In League of Legends, not only is it important to understand the champion that you're playing, but also the champions that you are playing against. Sylas is the only champion that allows you to play both sides. If you are low elo and you're new to the game, then playing Sylas will only help you accelerate your skill and knowledge in the game. Stealing a different ult every game helps you learn a new champion every game, and is insanely fun at the same time. If you're high elo, then you're already one step ahead of everyone else. Being knowledgeable about their own ults and using it against them can be fun and accomplishing. The thing that makes Sylas different than any other champion, though, is that no matter what your playstyle is, anyone can play Sylas. He is the only mage that can comfortably build every AP mythic item and make it work. It just depends on you. As you're going to see, if you're an aggressive player, then you will thrive with First Strike and Luden's Tempest, allowing you to do an insane burst damage in the blink of an eye. If you're a more passive player, and you like to build a bunch of HP and be the tank for your team, going Conqueror with Riftmaker can allow you to deal tons of damage while staying in the fight for a long time, allowing your team to dish out damage in the backlines. Because of all of these things, I can confidently say that Sylas is the best champion in the entire game to main. And even if you don't want to main him, just learning him can be extremely beneficial to becoming a better player in the game overall. So, without further ado, let's start from the beginning and talk about his abilities. Pentakill! Let's get started with the bread and butter of Sylas, and that is his passive Petricite Burst. After Sylas uses an ability, his next auto attack deals AoE damage and grants him 125% attack speed. Sylas can only have a max of 3 Petricite Burst charges at once, so it's important to use your abilities in a fashionable manner so you can maximize the amount of Petricite Burst auto attacks you get in a single fight. Sylas' Q is Chain Lash. He throws his chains in a direction, doing an initial amount of damage and slowing the target by 35%. After a few seconds, another damage will appear and deal more than double the amount of the first initial damage. Because of this, it's important that you make the enemy get hit by both the Q1 and the Q2. Sylas' W is his most important ability, and also his most simple, Kingslayer. It's a point-and-click ability that deals a base amount of damage to the enemy target, but also heals Sylas depending on his missing percent health, maximizing when he's at or below 40%. Sylas' E, Abscon and Abduct, has 2 casts. The first one is just a regular dash, but the second cast throws a chain at an enemy target and brings Sylas to them if he hits them. This does 100% AP scaling damage, so it does the most damage out of any of his abilities, and it's extremely important that you hit it, so it's important to practice this at all times. Not only is it a great ability to get yourself to the target, but it also can help you get out of a sticky situation, allowing it to be a dash that you can use over terrain. Sylas' ultimate is Hijack, and he steals the enemy ultimate and uses it as his own. Now, unfortunately, there's more than 150 ultimates in this game, so I'm not able to completely explain it in just a matter of time, but the best advice that I can give is it's very important whose ultimate you steal, when you steal it, and how you use it in a team fight, which you'll see as we go on in the video. Alrighty, so now let's get into my favorite part, and that is the runes. So Sylas typically has 3 main rune paths that you can go, and I'm going to walk you through each of them. So the first one is the melee mid runes. Now this is quite possibly the best, but it's the hardest to pull off. And the reason is, if there's a ranged matchup or a very poke matchup, it's a bad idea to go first strike. There's a certain playstyle with first strike, as you'll see, that just does very well with Sylas, but it's hard to pull off. And it's almost impossible to pull off in most ranged matchups. So if you're going against a melee champion, I highly recommend you're going first strike for this. That way you can deal the extra bonus damage and gain the gold based on it because you're a melee. It actually comes up to a lot. And like I said, in the video, further down the road, you will see how to do this. But if it is a Zed, a Yone, a Yasuo, someone like that, this is the rune path you're going to want to go. You want to go first strike, magical footwear. As a melee mage, movement speed is actually extremely important. And this also helps you run a good economy with the first strike as well, giving you extra gold. This means you're going to snowball extremely fast. Of course, you won't get your boots at a very reasonable time, but Sylas' base movement speed is at 345, which is pretty decent. And getting that extra 10 movement speed, like I said, just really makes a huge difference when you're a melee mage. Biscuit delivery is fantastic. The extra mana will go a long way, and Sylas does have a pretty rough laning phase, although it's better now. Having that biscuit is just super clutch, especially in Ignite matchups where you need to survive that little bit of health at the end of the last tick. Biscuit is always good. It's a perfect safety measure, and it'll help you keep fighting in the lane for a little bit longer than normally. And approach velocity, since you're not going Everfrost, Cosmic Insight isn't very necessary. And a very interesting thing that a lot of people don't realize is that because approach velocity gives you movement speed towards nearby enemy champions that are movement impaired, a nice little strategy, as you'll see as Sylas, is that if you use your Q and that slows them, it's a very good engage tool so that you can use the Q, slow them, and then it gives you bonus movement speed running at them, making it easier to close that gap. So approach velocity is fantastic for this. For secondary runes, sudden impact, giving you lethality every time you dash. Also, a lot of people don't realize, but Sylas' W is a lunge, and it actually does proc sudden impact. So this rune was honestly made for Sylas. It's fantastic, dealing extra bonus damage, allowing that first strike to get a bit more bonus damage, a bit more gold. And on top of that, I really, really like Treasure Hunter. The Treasure Hunter only gets you about 550 bonus gold, but with Sylas, every piece of gold is so important, especially because he's such a snowballing champion. With Ravenous Hunter being gone, unfortunately, every other rune is just not too great. Sylas' ultimate is honestly already very low cooldown, so this extra ability haste will only be a matter of a few seconds. Relentless Hunter just doesn't matter very much because you're in combat most of the time. And Ingenious Hunter just doesn't make sense because he doesn't have any items that have haste other than Zhonya's. So Treasure Hunter honestly works perfectly in a first strike. You're always, in every rune page that I'm going to show you, go 8 ability haste. 8 ability haste goes a very long way, especially in the early game. And especially someone so reliant on their abilities, Sylas is almost renderless without abilities. When he auto attacks, it's just completely pointless. So we always want to go plus 8 ability haste. We're always going to go plus 9 adaptive force. And whether they're armor or magic resist, you always want to go to defense. Because of the durability patch, going this defense bonus health just makes such a bigger impact than going armor and magic resist, and getting that extra amount of health just makes Sylas look that much more intimidating and really helps pull together his entire kit. So, like I said, this is going to be the melee mid runes if you're against a Yasuo, a Yone, an Ekko, a Talon, anyone who's melee and not going to poke you. So, now for ranged mid runes, and this will probably be a little bit more common, but depending on the matchup, you can run the first strike one if you're comfortable with it. Most of the time, if I'm seeing an Ahri, an Orianna, a Cassiopeia or Syndra, you're going to want to go this. And the reason is they can just auto attack you and basically make your burst strike useless. So Electrocute is really, really good if you're still wanting to go that burst Sylas build, which you will want to do. Like I said, Sudden Impact is just an amazing rune for Sylas, giving him lethality and magic. I mean, the lethality doesn't matter very much, but the magic penetration every time he uses his E or W. Eyeball Collection is great. These are all going to give you the same amount of 30 AP, but when you're a Sylas, Eyeball Collection is going to get you that much faster than the latter. And we want to go Treasure Hunter for the reasons I explained earlier. Very good for Sylas, a snowballing champion, and it's just the best out of these choices. Now, for secondary, you want to go Transcendence. Like I said, each ability haste is very important for Sylas. So because you're going Assassin Sylas, most of the items that you build are not going to have ability haste in them, which is why you're going to get ability haste out of your runes. An extra 18 ability haste from runes can actually go a very long way, and Gathering Storm is just fantastic for Sylas, making his snowball that much more intimidating, and the late game a little bit easier in Sylas because he falls off a little bit in the late game. He excels in the mid game, but the late game he kind of falls off when people have counters. So Gathering Storm really helps him maintain that extra oomph and advantage. Like I said, we're going to go Ability Haste, Adaptive Force, and Health, regardless of what they are going. Now, this can basically be done no matter what. Whether it's a Yasuo, whether it's a Yone, whether it's a Syndra, this is a personal preference pick, but it works just as well. And especially if they are tankier, like a Scion in the top lane, and you just know there's a Zac, and he's going to be really hard to burn down, these are the runes you're going to want to go, because with Conqueror, it gives you a bit of a bruiser path, and you're also going to be going things like Demonic Embrace and Riftmaker, dealing true damage and melting them down. So, but you can still go this, even if the enemy team is squishy, you can still go this. If they're tanky, it's more inclined to do this. So you will want to go Conqueror. Presence of Mind is just a no-brainer. Sylas just has a lot of mana that needs to be restored, and Presence of Mind really helps with that, especially because you're going Riftmaker. You won't be going a Mana Mythic, but Presence of Mind really helps with that, and you won't need to go a tier. Sylas's mana has been decreased, so his mana costs aren't too high. It's enough, honestly, so that's very nice. Legend Tenacity is a fantastic rune for Sylas, especially if you're going this tank route. You're going to need Tenacity, and you're most likely going to go Ionian Boots of Lucidity for the first half of the game. So Legend Tenacity really helps him be that tank that can continue going even after getting CC'd. And Last Stand is fantastic. Obviously, Sylas does increased healing when he's at a low health, so Last Stand helps him do even more damage, because the more damage you deal, the more healing you'll do, and this is really important for Sylas. You're not really going for coup de grace because you don't really care about assassinating them. You're looking to stay in the fight for as long as possible. This is the healing route of Sylas, getting healing from Conqueror, Last Stand, and as you're going to see in the second page for this rune, you're going to want to go Second Wind and Revitalize. These runes are just fantastic hand in hand, giving even more healing and more healing. These are just honestly going to be doing more healing than the Conqueror. They're fantastic for Sylas. You don't really want to change these, and if you are very cautious, very uncomfortable in laning phase, feel free to go Doran's Shield as a first item. I normally go Doran's Ring because I'm more comfortable with it, but a Doran's Shield really helps. If you take a lot of poke, it's going to be like nothing happens, and especially with Second Wind and Revitalize, it's going to really help you maintain your advantage in the mid lane and allow yourself to take a little bit of poke here and there. And plus 8 ability haste, plus 9 adaptive force, and 15 to 140 health. That's going to be it for the runes. Let's get into the items. Alrighty, so let's get started with the item builds that you're going to go. Now, it doesn't really matter the runes that I'm going right here. I just wanted to show the stats that you're going to have at the end of the day with these kind of item builds. So we'll start off with the first strike one. This is the melee mid. It's pretty similar to the Electrocute one. This is basically the Assassin Sylas. And okay, we're actually going to have to fast forward 10 minutes because we need our boots. But that's part of the build, I guess. But basically, this one's going to be a lot of damage, not a lot of ability haste, not a lot of health, just kind of down that route. So, get to 12 minutes. Alrighty, so we can get boots now. And the mythic item for both of them are going to be the same thing. It's going to be Luden Tempest. So, for Assassin Sylas, for First Strike or Electrocute, you're going to go Luden's Tempest as your mythic item. In the early game, I do like to go Ionian Boots sometimes, because I think in the early game, when your abilities aren't very low cooldown, this does help a lot. But in the late game, you're going to want to sell that and go for Sorcerer's Shoes. You could still go for Sorcerer's Shoes in the early game, but like I said, if you're low on gold and you like ability haste in the early game, nothing wrong with going Ionian Boots. Just remember to sell them for Sorcerer's Shoes later. An always, always, always amazing secondary item for Sylas, and this is necessary no matter what build you're going, is Zhonya's. This is an amazing item. It's a great active. It helps out Sylas because he's a melee mage. He gets into sticky situations. After that, you're going to want to go Shadow Flame. This item is perfect, giving you a lot of health and 100 ability power at the same time, making Sylas look like a tank in the late game. We're not even, I mean, we're 3,000 HP. So this is fantastic. And we're going to want to go Death Cap. Now, we have one item slot left. This is basically what you're going to go every game. But you have one item slot left for, who knows, diversity. It's really good to have one little adaptive item slot. So if they have a lot of magic resist, and I really don't think you'll have to do this very much because Luden's Tempest gives you magic penetration. This gives you magic penetration. But if they're building a lot, feel free to get a Void Staff. That's always a good last pick. If they have a lot of healing, you can go Morellonomicon and be able to get the healing reduction in. If they have a lot of AP, or a Zoe is in the matchup, something that really bothers you, a Zoe or Ahri, trying to dodge that charm or Blitzcrank hook, Banshee Veil is a fantastic item. If you need a little bit more movement speed, and you don't feel like you need to be defensive, a Lichbane is fantastic. I don't recommend Cosmic Drive for this, because like I said, you're not planning on doing an entire combo on them. You're planning on just doing one hit, one kill with this build. So, like I said, Void Staff, Banshee's Veil, Lichbane, or Morello. These are great reactive items, and if you got 25 stacks of the Magi's, that's fine to keep too. So, for the tankier Conqueror Sylas build, you're going to want to go Riftmaker. Now, this is a fantastic combo. Once again, you don't really need to go Sorcerer's Shoes for this. I actually do think Ionian Boots is fantastic in the early game, but when you get to the later game, you have a little bit more magic or ability haste. Feel free to sell these depending on if they have a lot of attack damage team on the enemy team. Played the Steelcast is fantastic. If you need a little bit more tenacity than the 30% you're getting from your runes, nothing wrong with getting Mercury Treads. But in the beginning, Riftmaker only gives you 15 ability haste, so it's really a good idea to go for early Ionian Boots. For the second item, you go Demonic Embrace, and this is why this build is just so fantastic, is because these two items just go hand in hand. You're dealing true damage, and you're dealing burn damage based on their max health. You're also gaining 2% of your bonus health as ability power, so this is fantastic. Cosmic Drive is good in this, because the more cooldown reduction, the more spam, the more healing, it really works well together. And like I said, when you build Cosmic Drive, you don't really need the Ionian Boots ability haste. So once you build this item, that is the time I would recommend getting a Plated Steel Caps or Mercury Treads. For this, we'll get Mercury Treads and just say they have a lot of CC. So 53 ability haste is 35% cooldown reduction. Your W is at a 4-second cooldown. E is at a 5, Q is at a 4. It's very, very low cooldown reduction. You don't really need more than that. After this, you can go Zhonya's, because that's always a necessary item, and finish that off with Radon's Death Cap. This is an amazing build. You have 600 AP, you have 160 armor from the Zhonya's, you have 100 magic resist from the Merc Treads. We're almost at 4,000 HP, yet we're still dealing so much damage. You'll be healing so much as well. And so this is kind of what the final look will be like for that more tanky Conqueror Sylas look, as well as having those other runes, not that we have here, but the Revitalize, the Conqueror healing, the Second Wind, all playing an insanely miraculous part in keeping Sylas alive while dealing tons of damage. This is level 18, full build, all that stuff. Like, this is what your typical full build will look like. And a pretty normal, there's different combos, depending on the situation, what you're comfortable with. But the first combo I'll show you is the QE combo, and basically what that... Okay, sorry. My cat is just meowing like crazy. So basically how that goes is this. I have to like focus, so I'm just gonna do the combo and then explain why I do what I do. Let's give it more health. It's hard to, but look, we just did 4,217 damage. That's potentially enough to kill a tank. That's potentially enough to one-shot a tank. I'll try to give it more health so that it's like easier to see. My cat is just meowing crazy in the background. If you hear him, please ignore him. He just wants attention constantly. I care about my cat, by the way. Okay, so basically, why this combo is good, you put the Q down first, and then you follow up with your E. This dummy just... Okay, we're just going to one-shot this dummy every time. I don't know how to give it more stats. But basically what it means is when you put your Q down and then follow up, it basically shows that they're going to get hit by the Q1 and Q2. So the Q slows by 35%, right? So if this is a moving target and we're trying to chase them, if we're in a good spot, we can just do this. And then before they even have time to react... Sorry, I did my W in between that. But before they even have time to react, you know, they're going to be stuck. So doing this combo is really good. If it's a tankier person, it takes a little longer than other combos, but it's because this is probably the most damage you'll ever do. So it's the Q, E, W combo. Put the Q down first, follow up with your E and then E2, and then your W. It does an insane amount of damage. So that's the first combo you're going to want to know. Situations that you would do this basically are, like I said, tankier champions. And if you need more time to kill them, if you want to do a quicker way to kill them, sometimes you don't even have to use your Q. You can use it for follow-up because, like I said, the Q slows. So the Q is good to kind of slow them down so you can catch up. So you throw the Q out and it slows them down. That way you can get closer with your E. It's a lot of range. For Sylas, that's a lot of range to catch up to someone. So this is a good combo. Honestly, all the combos are good, just depending on how you like to do it. So the quickest combo, this isn't really a combo, it's just like a finisher. Like, if they're like 2 HP, or I'm sorry, if they're like 200 HP, you don't need to do 4,057 damage, right? You just need to kill them. So if they're running away and you just need to kill them real quick, you just do, you go, it's the EWE combo. So basically what that is you don't want to use, so you don't want to use your E and then E. So this is what a lot of people do and it's wrong. They'll do this. You don't want to do that. Because if it's a moving target, this is a target dummy, but it's a lot harder. If it's a moving target, it's going to be hard to hit your E like that, you know? And if they're running away, you're going to have to go, you know. So if you want to close the distance, a really easy way to close the distance and then make sure that you hit your E2, you know, is to go EW and then E again. That way, you close the gap with your W, and then your E2 is just that much easier to hit versus you're doing this. It's clunky. It doesn't feel as good. Personally, I don't like it very much. Auto refreshment and energy. I don't know why I haven't done that before. But yeah, so don't, a lot of like new people will go EEW. It feels awkward in my opinion and clunky. If you want to do fast damage, you're going to want to go the EW. You can I like to throw in an auto attack, because, you know, your auto attacks are really good to do in between combos. So I like to EW, auto attack, and then reset with the E2. So specifically, it'd be an EW, auto attack, E combo. So that's the second one, and that's obviously, so this is 2,800 damage versus the full combo. And that's with all, I mean, that damage is just insane. So if they're full HP, you want to do the QEW combo. Like I said, I'll do it again. That's a full combo. That wasn't even with my Electrocute. That's a full combo. If they're half health, if they're running away, if you just need to kill them real quick. It took a prison for me to find liberation. Just like that. Really easy stuff. Sylas doesn't have that many combos that are too complicated. So the most important one, though, I mean, Sylas is basically completely, his kit is completely surrounded around his ulti. And so let's say there's a Lux ulti. This is a really neat combo, and it's going to help out a lot. So let's say they have a Lux ulti or a Nami ulti, one that you can, I just want to reiterate, you can cast while you're in your E combo. Did you see that? You probably didn't even notice because it was so fast, but I casted my ulti while I was in my E2, and a lot of people don't know this. So it's auto refresh cooldown. So let me do that again for you. This is really good. If it's a, you know, actually this is good for any ulti. I was getting ahead of myself. Like I said, there's just so much knowledge that I'm trying to pack in, but this is good for any ulti. So let's say I'm trying to kill someone. Did you catch that? It's hard to see, but I did cast my ulti while I'm literally leaping from the person. in my E2. So it's really fast, but it works out really well because most of the time, like I said, your enemy won't notice it. They won't even see how you got the ulti that fast. So, oh my god. My cat has literally just jumped on my computer. So this is really good to surprise your enemy. This is good with any ulti. I'm trying to think of a good example, but let's say Orianna, because that's a common matchup with Sylas. You just go in, you do this, and then you cast the ulti again, like while you're on top of them. Instant burst, instant this, that. And so, like I was saying before, let's say you have a Lux ulti already. Let's say I already stole a Lux ulti from over here. Well, you can do the same thing. You can cast, let's say you do this, you can cast the Lux ulti while you're in the leap, and then you do the huge laser. I'm explaining these things theoretically, but we're going to go into gameplay, and I'm going to show you these combos in gameplay. I just want to explain them on a target dummy first. So this is basically, yeah, that's the combo. And it's really, really nice. And another really cool thing that Sylas is, and this isn't really a combo, it's more of just like a neat trick. As Sylas, a lot of people always ask, like, when do I engage? When do I do this? Well, Zhonya's is a really good engage tool because if you could start a fight and then go Zhonya's, it's kind of great for your team to get around you. And a lot of people don't know this, but you can cast Zhonya's during that same thing. So, like I said, oh, I messed, okay. So like I said, while you're E2ing, you can catch the ulti, right? There's a lot of things you can do. Unfortunately, old Sylas used to be able to do the QE combo. If you know what I'm talking about, you know what I'm talking about. That was a long time ago. I don't even know why I'm bringing that up. But if you want to use your Zhonya's, you can do the same. And you can teleport there. Or not teleport, but you kind of get to hit you get to immobilize the person and do damage. And like, let's say you're literally trying to start an engage and it's a 1v5. This is a great 1v5 tool because it'll give your team time to catch up and you won't die. So I'll do that again just to show you guys. But in the mid E, make sure it's not before your E, by the way. Otherwise you'll look like an idiot and you'll do this. Make sure you don't do that. Make sure you cast your E2 first and then press Zhonya. So I'll do that one more time for you guys. Wait, I just did. Okay. I just did what I said not to do. Okay. Just like that. Now, there are a lot of other combos for Sylas, but they're really champion specific, depending on the ulti you take. So I can't really get into that. These are the most basic combos, but I'm trying to think if I left anything out. It's really not that much to it. These are, just to reiterate, we're going to go over everything. This is your highest damage combo. It's 4,700 damage full build. You'll one-shot a tank. This is the easy, quick combo if you want to... This is really good for trades as well. Let's say you're in lane and you want to trade with someone. A really good way to do that is... And then run away. Just like that. Really good, quick trade. But, you know, so many instances. Of course, this doesn't do as much damage as the other. And really, you know... The other one, you can steal ultis while you're in your E2. It's really hard to notice, and it really catches the enemy off guard. You even as a viewer might not notice it. But those are the sweet combos with Sylas. I'm going to show you guys the gameplay now because there's a game after this, and we just go crazy with it, and it's really, really fun. You're going to see these combos happen really fast, but hopefully this gives you more context as to how I do it and why. So now we're going to do a little segment where we do an entire clip. And in this case, it's a pentakill with Sylas. First, I'm going to show you the clip, and then we're going to break it down, and I kind of explain why I did what I did and how I did it. Ah! Really? That's a big shield, bro. Oh, that was really good. Okay. Wait, we can maybe get a pentakill here? Okay. Oh, come on. No, don't be like that. Wait. I gotta go for it. Pentakill. Alrighty, so let's go back to the beginning where it all started. So, as you can see, you can juggle multiple Sylas ults at once, and in this fight, we actually used 2, even though the fight went on for a while. So we started with the Jhin ult, and we got Jhin pretty low, hitting most of our shots, but unfortunately not being able to finish it. Our fight was happening, and it wasn't going too well, but we're hanging out around here. We missed the E, unfortunately, but Lux gets a little too close, and we're able to use our W and use the Kingslayer on her. We use the Q on Zed, slowing him. We pop his Ma shield, and instantly, right there, we use the E and W perfectly together. As you can see, this is with Electrocute and Sudden Impact, and you can see the amount of damage these items are doing. We're then trying to catch Ahri, but she gains movement speed from her W. We're getting rooted by Jhin. Once again, Jhin walks just a little too close, and we're able to finish him off with the Kingslayer. Aatrox comes up, and as you can see, we use our E1 and E2 to hold them in one spot. Once he's CC'd by Rel, we plant our trap, put the Q right under him, and he takes an insane burst amount of damage, taking the Q1 and Q2 damage. Now, unfortunately here, I don't have a dash, and I use my Rocket Belt unknowingly to go over. But what Ahri doesn't know is that I almost have my ultimate up, so she kind of greeds. I'm able to steal the ultimate, and Ahri ultimate is just fantastic for Sylas. We're able to get a bunch of dashes. We're able to dash in and dash out and secure the pentakill. And just look at the bonus damage we're getting from Electrocute and Sudden Impact. Alrighty, so in this clip, I'm going to be showing you how to think as a Sylas player. Basically, how to use his abilities, when to use which ability, when to go in, when to go out, and kind of just the beautiful juggle of playing Sylas as a champion. So first, let's play the clip, and then I'll go over it. Oh, crap. I can't hit the thing. Oh, shoot. Oh, shoot. There's no way I live this. Maybe if I had a W buff, I would live here. Maybe if my W was buffed, I would live here. Oh, but I do live there. This is why he goes. Alrighty, so let's go to the beginning of this video. There's a fight going on. Ashe is pretty low, and because of the Rek'Sai thing, I wasn't able to hit that. And so Ashe's ultimate is on cooldown, so we have to take Karma's. It's important to know that when you take a champion like Karma's ulti or LeBlanc, you can choose which one. So we use her W, and you almost always want to use the W Karma ult because it heals us. So this is just kind of tying in to understanding enemies just as much as yourself when you're playing Sylas. So I know to take the Karma's W ulti, it's going to heal me, it's going to slow her, and I'm able to kill her. But now I kind of get into a sticky situation here. There's a Kassadin and there's Ashe, and I'm ignited, so my anti-heal or my healing will be reduced. So we W every time. Right as it's up, we use our W, and in this moment, it's obviously a 2v1. I use the Q to make it look like I'm going on to Kassadin, but then I throw my E2, I like kind of a snake eyes, and go into Ashe, finishing her off. Using the W, quick fingers, just constantly pressing it as it comes up. And now you can see I'm running away from Kassadin. When my abilities are on cooldown, I'm running away. When they're up, I go in. And it's kind of that struggle, like I said, of going in and out with Sylas. So we're running away, then we go back in, our W's up. We do our combo, we dash away, we go back in, our W's up, and we end up killing him. So that's just kind of how to use Sylas as a champion, being in that mindset, knowing what ulti to steal, how to use that ulti, and basically how to juggle yourself, even when it's an unfair advantage of a 3v1. Alrighty, so we're going to go through the 3 stages of the game with Sylas. The early game, which is probably his most important, the mid game, and the late game. So right now, we're looking at a clip in one of the early games of my Sylas gameplay, and I'm going to be walking through why I'm doing what I'm doing and just how to play this lane in general. As you could see, I'm being very respectful of the enemy Veigar. I'm playing it pretty safe, and I'm not trying to get close to him at all. I use my E I usually do start E so I can get those first 3 minions, but other than that, I play pretty respectful, I play pretty back, and I allow the enemy mid laner, if they're honestly in most matchups, depending on how they play, to push me to the tower. So it's very important to familiarize and get comfortable with farming at the tower and just being respectful, because if you lose too much health, then you're not really able to go for a kill later on, and then you're just going to be stuck at tower all of the game. So you just want to play like that until you're level 3, that way you have all your abilities. Normally you get a gank, so we got a gank in. Veigar preemptively flashed when he probably didn't need to, but as you could see, it's once we're level 3 that we start walking up a little bit more, and we use our combo, we use everything, and instantly we're able to secure the first blood just through one entire combo and with Ignite. So we play really safe, we play really scared and back, and it makes the enemy want to play very aggressive. Now the jungler's coming, but we know that we can't run, so we stay with the minion wave, because as you can see, we have the bigger minion wave, and we're able to take a 2-for-1 there, completely changing the tides of the laning phase and giving me a gigantic lead over Veigar, allowing me to recall and get a good back off. Alrighty, now I'd like to talk about the mid game for Sylas. As you can see, I really like this game because it shows that I'm not popping off. If anything, I'm barely going even. I'm 5-5-1. It's 15 minutes into the game. It's a pretty close game. It's 13-16. And in this game, I go from starting out 1-1, 2-2, 3-3, 3-4, and then once I'm 5-5, I transition perfectly into the mid game where I go from 5-5 to 13, 14-5. And so I'd like to kind of show how I transition from going from average to going to better than average. And I'm going to show you, as you can see, I was just bot lane. Now with Sylas, I'm trying to just get around the map, find kills, look where I can make an impact. And that doesn't inherently mean fighting by myself. Sylas is a fantastic team fight champion. So I'm outnumbered here. It's not looking great, but I see him, I'm looking for opportunities. I don't stay in one place particularly. If I'm shoved out of one place, I'm going to go to another. I'm looking to help my team because after all, unfortunately, it's a team game. So we go from mid to top. Of course, we don't get anything there, but, it's nice to just roam around, especially nice when there's Cloud Soul for the roaming. And we're really just kind of looking for opportunities. We're making sure that we're not wasting any time, though. So always be sure that you're finding a wave, you're finding some farm. You always have to be doing something in League of Legends. So if you go mid and mid's pushed, go top and push that out. I'm really just constantly trying to keep myself busy, looking if I can help a teammate. So once again, roaming again, we push the mid lane out and we roam. So always remember, you want to push the lane out and then roam. You never want to leave the lane when the wave is at the tower, because then it's just going to nothing, to no one. So we came to top lane, we saw him die, and this time he wasn't able to take him out. So we're here to hopefully clean up. So Talon able to pick him up. That's a good roam there. We're at 6-5. Dragon's coming up. Talon's the jungler. That's a very good pick. But because my team is not really there. Actually, they are there. I don't remember exactly what I did. So I do realize, I think I forgot that Dragon was coming up. And now that we know it's a 4v5, I decide to come over there so we can secure the Dragon. I was going to say, I'm pretty sure I would want to go to the Dragon. I was a little confused while I was walking topside, but they're able to get it pretty clearly. We know that they're not going to contest it, so I know that I can get a recall off. I have a good amount of gold and I want to go get my boots. So we can fast forward a little bit and see, once again, I'm never in one area. I'm always top or mid or bot lane, just constantly looking for something. Just because I'm a mid laner doesn't mean I stay mid. So picked up the kill top, got the Rengar ulti. Now just because I stole the Rengar ulti doesn't mean I have to use it. Sometimes you could just pick up ultis for the sake of having it, especially one like this that allows us to go for flanks. So sometimes you just want to be very active with the ultis and use it as a utility. It's not always about how much damage an ulti does, it's about its utility. So perfectly able to catch up another kill. We see that top lane has a wave, but we have a pink ward here, so we have a good idea of what we're getting into and if we can go in on them. He lands a perfect hit. I use my Q while she's stunned, so she takes both Q1 and Q2 damage. And now it's just a fiesta. It's not all about farm exactly at this point. I'm really just looking to pick up objectives with my team and get kills. Sometimes it's okay if it's an ARAM. Depending on the game, depending if you have TP or not, you usually want to split push, but at a point like this, we're really just picking up stuff. And now I'm going bot lane. Although they continue pushing mid, it's about kills, but it's also not. You really just have to be on top of everything. So I'm looking to go bot lane. I know no one's there. Unfortunately, my team overstays, but I'm looking to just maintain an EXP lead because usually as Sylas, he has some of the best scaling in the game. So we'll fast forward a little bit. And see that we have a few fights, we have a few skirmishes here and there, but I'm not eager to go in. I'm looking at where my team is and what I can do. I'm able to catch out Katarina by herself, do a very quick burst, and we get in a little trouble, but we get out of there. And so the mid game is really about picking up waves, looking for skirmishes, looking for picks, and just trying to help out your team as much as possible. You want your team to have a good lead, so although I do like kills, I try to give it. And now we will transition into the late game. Now we're in the late game, and a lot of people always ask me, how do you maintain your lead with Sylas? I never know what to do. Late game, they build counter items. I don't feel confident. I always lose my lead. And as you can see in this game, we have a very hefty lead, and I maintain it very well. So it's really nice to go Lichbane sometimes. Items like Lichbane help you have a lot of movement speed. Also having a Magi, just constantly being around the map. And when you're in the late game, you're just looking to screw over the enemy as much as possible. Whether it's killing them in a lane if they're a little too far, or just taking their jungle. When Sylas is in the late game, he does a lot of damage. So it takes him almost 2 seconds to just take jungles and stuff like that. Now we're looking to help our team. We took the enemy jungle. We're trying to deny as much as we can. And honestly, it's all about confidence. And I think it sounds really dumb to hear, but it's really important, and especially for Sylas, it's really important to have confidence in your gameplay. So you know you're strong. You can't underestimate yourself. And I know if I just run up and W Vel'Koz, I'm going to kill him. I have my Zhonya's as a backup, and usually when I have flash, I could be even a little bit more aggressive. So we'll fast forward into skirmishes. And as you can see, I have 200 CS at 27 minutes. I'm the highest level in the game. I'm continuing maintaining that lead of EXP. And just like that, we're constantly looking for picks. In the late game, it's really important to look for picks because death timers are long. Now we know that it's an uneven fight. We're looking to go for Baron because it's a 4v5. I mean, our Yasuo's bot side, but we're going to look for even more picks and really just kill her pretty easily, doing so much damage. And now it's the 3v5, so we make that even easier for us to go for the Baron. And it's always important to just go for these objectives, especially when objective bounties are up. You really don't want to give any leeway for your enemy. So as Sylas, and especially with this specific build of First Strike, you're an assassin. You're looking for picks. You're trying to make the fight uneven. You're looking to just one-shot someone. And as you can tell, I also have a trinket, a red trinket, because I'm an assassin. So we're doing tons of damage now. As you can see, First Strike is offering us so much gold, sudden impact giving us so much bonus damage, and we have a full build when the enemy mid laner only has 2 items. So really, it's about making Sylas snowball from them, because Sylas is amazing in the mid game. That is where he strives. So you want to transition him from mid to late game and just make it so strong, make him so strong that there's no way for the enemy to come back. As you can see, I'm just going crazy here. My team's not even near me, but I'm so confident. I see Vel'Koz. It just takes 1 hit. It's all about not underestimating yourself. Now it's a 4v5, just like that. We're looking for more picks. We're looking to do something. And with Baron, we're looking to close out the game entirely. So Lilia flashed over. We get drowsy, so we're staying a little far back. And at this time, our ulti's very low cooldown, so we know we can just keep juggling ults. We want to play aggressive. We want to make the enemy team scared. We want to pressure them a lot, and that's exactly what we're doing as Sylas. Every time my ultimate's up, I'm stealing an ultimate and I'm using it. I'm not saving it because I know I can use more than one ultimate at a time. And we just kill her with our E. Trying to continue the fight, killing Lilia and looking to close out the game. And here, perfect. This is why Zhonya's is a fantastic item for Sylas. Gets you out of sticky situations. We most definitely would have died if we didn't have Zhonya's there. And we're pretty low, but honestly, just hanging around their minion waves, giving them Baron is fantastic. Using the Bel'Veth ult to get resets off, and now we just look to close the game. As you can see, it started off in this late game without Baron. We transition, we got picks, we get Baron, and then we kind of force a team fight, making the enemy back into their base and taking the win. So this is the late game of Sylas. Alrighty guys, today we are playing the beautiful Battle Wolf Sylas with First Strike, Magical Footwear, Biscuit Delivery, Approach Velocity, Treasure Hunter, and Sudden Impact. With the new patch, Sylas went from the doghouse to being quite on top as one of the best mid laners in the game. And this mid lane build in Runes, as you will see, has the highest win rate with it, a very high win rate actually. And so we will be going Luden's Tempest into Lichbane, Zhonya's Shadowflame, and then Rabadon's Deathcap. It's a pretty assassin Sylas build, but with the Everfrost nerfs, Sylas is pretty much an assassin now. So that's just the life that we live. With the first strike bonus gold and the treasure hunter, snowballing will be very easy for us, and we'll be gaining more gold probably from our runes than honestly kills, which is a huge bump, as well as doing true damage from the first strike. So all these things combined make Sylas an amazing mid lane champion, and if you do everything that I do and watch the whole video, you will win pretty much every one of your games, just as I have as of late. Not only is it an amazing build, but it's insanely fun to do. So I personally like Assassin Sylas much more than Conqueror Sylas, Bruiser Sylas. I think it's more fun, and I think it does more damage. So the hardest part about the build really is using your first strike right and not taking too much poke. And so for me, I only want to fight the enemy mid laner when my first strike is up. And it's going to be pretty hard to pull that off against Cassiopeia. But now that it's up, nah. See, I get hit, so I really don't want to fight her while it's like that. That's odd. So she does have Conquer and Resolve. But she does not have Ignite, which is pretty good for me because I'll have that advantage over her. Ooh. I'm coming? I don't know. Oh, I didn't even mean to take that. But she flashed right into me. I don't think she knew I was coming for her. That's really good for us. Let's turn on some themes. Alright, so we have this. I think we will be able to kill Cassiopeia if we land it all. So it's a really good trade for us. As you can see, we got a lot of damage off. And we got a lot of gold from the first strike. She's out of mana, actually. I think we kill her here. I used to be locked up, but I didn't care for it. Ooh, I needed to hit that Q. She might... Oh, 10 HP. We get her flash, though, and that's really good. But unfortunately, we don't get the full kill. But we get some first strike damage off. She's most likely going to use her TP to get back to lane, so we're going to push this lane in and then recall. Yeah, there's the TP. Alright, we got a lot of gold, so we're just going to recall and cash that out. It's actually a perfect amount of gold. We get a last chapter, and you always want to go a Dark Seal. Prison for me to find nice. Liberation. We're in a very good spot. Cassiopeia without flash 2 is really easy to gank, so we should gank her.
Their shackles are now my weapons.
See, she just got an amplifying tome. Not too bad. Alright, that's good. So I just use my Q to knock out her bone plating.
What does any of that even mean?
Because that usually reduces a lot of damage. I'm hoping that when I fight her, I'll have the level 6 advantage too. That pool is so annoying, but we were able to cast the ultimate fast enough and along with our first strike so that we kill her. Perfect, though. And we get another stack of Treasure Hunter, which even gives us more gold. Honestly, so much bonus gold. Like, we can already recall and get a Blasting Wand. That's a lot.
No prison can hold me.
Looks like a pretty good gank for them. One of them, at least, is gonna die here, right? Nice. Oh, so we'll pick this up. 127 AP. That's really good for us. Not sure where Cassiopeia is. She should be back to lane by now. Okay, there she is.
Brother against
We
brother.
could look. I kind of want to roam and kill top lane, because the more people we kill, the more bonus gold we get from Treasure Hunter. She's still level 5.
Tradition is a crutch for the mindless.
I don't think I want to kill her now that she's level 6. Gank her though. Always down for that. Oh, that was a good flash. Nice. Not giving her any reaction time. I think it's worth that he used his flash there.
An ally has been slain.
Look, a hostage.
It's like top is having trouble. He doesn't have TP, so I think I'm gonna go up there and try to kill her. I'm really slow without boots though.
After 15 years in the dark, I was illuminated.
Wow, she's just keep going. I thought she would start walking back by now. Well, I hope you got an escape plan. The tower just killed her. Okay. It's 8 minutes. I could technically recall and get a Luden's Tempest right now. But walking all the way back actually isn't worth it for me.
Magic is rising.
Can't quite steal her ult yet, but it's pretty close.
An enemy has been slain.
Bring it all down.
Nah, I don't wanna do that. I just wanna recall.
Let's blow.
This is too big of a power spike.
What can they do to me that they have
Alright, so we
not
just
done?
go this and this. We get the boots, nice time. Because I am freaking slow without them.
How I missed the free air.
I think Lily is on Rift Herald. Kind of want to go bot. If I can kill both of them, I could finish out my Treasure Hunter. And they are pretty low. Hello, sir.
A shepherd with no flock.
He just popped. Can I just kill her with this ulti? I wonder. Oh, wow, barely. I don't even know how I did, actually. I, like, barely got her with that full range. Okay, we finished the Treasure Hunter. So, 10 minutes, and yeah, it's a lot of G's.
I must show them there is more to life.
She's out of mana, so if we do fight her, we should be able to win it. If she stays, I'll go, but if not... Okay.
Conflict brings truth. Eventually.
Well, Cassiopeia's still here. Guess she has a lost chapter to help her with mana. I could still die from her. If she ults me at tower and then uses her W under me, I'm kind of powerless to do anything no matter how fed I am.
This is how we make a getaway.
So we'll get Sorcerer's Shoes and start building into
more
Lichbane.
kings, no more queens, no more mage seekers. It all ends now. Their shackles.
This top lane is a lot of fighting. I think they got her though.
An enemy has been
It's a good
slain.
counter gank. Wonder if Lily is somewhere around here. Oh! Do I even need to ult her? Maybe I should have. I got her flash.
I will show them.
But I think if I ulted her, maybe I would. Ugh. It's kind of scary with Cassiopeia on her.
An enemy has been slain.
You'll have to kill me.
Looks like Cassiopeia recalled, so I can. Never mind. I was gonna go for some turret plates there, but I guess we'll take a TP too. And Dragon's almost up as well. Or Dragon is up. We should probably take that.
We will rip the power from their cold dead.
Oh. Okay. Well, we got her flash, and I ended up killing her anyways. Otherwise, I think that would have honestly hit. Uh-oh. Lilia right behind. Well, she has no flash, so that's a good thing. But I think you might still be dead. Oh, no. I gotta get out of here. Biscuit, please! Oh my god, 3 HP. That. Oh my god. That was terrifying. That biscuit actually saved my life. Yeah, even though I'm super fed, Cassiopeia is still a Sylas counter no matter what. And it's terrifying, so I can't really do anything to help right there. That was scary.
I am the true Demacia.
Let's see what that does. Oh my god, that actually almost stole it. I think it would have actually, if it was like 0.1 second earlier.
I will be the monster they fear.
Has been slain.
You have ulti. I'm down. Nope. Yep. Sure.
Whatever they bring, I'll
I
match.
think we take this tower, right?
Embrace the chaos.
Nah, I guess not. I think I saw Lilia right around here, though. Nice. We'll take it. I do like the Vel'Koz. Oh, wait. That would have been cool. I like the Vel'Koz ulti, but unfortunately it doesn't proc his passive, which is where most of the damage comes from. Otherwise that would actually be broken. We can get Lich Bane now, too, if we want. Oh my god. That was scary. But we got both of them. I think we're just too strong now. Where it's just like, we're light years ahead of them. We get 650 bonus gold from here. 550, that's about 1100 bonus gold. Just for free.
I
think they... Actually can't tell. It was well played by Yasuo. But it doesn't look like it's enough. Maybe I can clean up for them. Velvet Salt's actually really good for me to steal. I should be taking that more often. Is that enough? No.
A man who seeks control is a man who needs to die.
Oh my god, they're both so low. Unfortunately, my first strike got procced by them at first. Otherwise, I think I would have killed them.
A mage seeker tried to
Ayya.
test me once.
Bro! Oh my god, I'm actually dead. Oh my god, I'm actually dead! No, I just needed to W him. I guess well played. Used everything there. That's unfortunate. The perfect game has ended 10-1-1. I look like an idiot. I was honestly very well played by Vel'Koz though. Flashed out of range so I couldn't heal back up either.
Not the first time I've had my neck in a noose.
So you definitely want to kill Lilia now too. I don't know when, but she became 6-1, which is pretty good.
Every Demacian a king.
Okay. She just went straight death cap. Oh my god. It's actually kind of scary.
Time for the kings to bow. Share and share alike.
Has been slain.
Okay. That's good. I got a big shutdown out of that. I'm kind of scared though. Kill her! Ooh. Yikes. It's just me up here. I don't think I killed him.
Your team has destroyed.
They did use both ultimates though. Oh! Just dodging everything here. Jesus.
How beautiful a world is without walls.
Nice. Get the dragon as well. Okay, I could just straight up run up and kill her, right?
Then slit its throat.
Yeah, never mind. Probably not a good idea for me to be here, right? Could just recall and get Zhonya's too, which is really important. Should probably do that. Yeah, let's do that.
The revolution must pause.
So we can start building into Shadow Flame and then finish off the build with a Death Cap. And hopefully, Magi's if we can get that to 10 stacks as well. Because the movement speed from that goes really well with our Lich Bane. As well as magical footwear, so.
I'm a man without a country.
I still haven't taken Bel'Veth's ulti, which I need to, because it scales amazingly with AP. Probably better than it does for her. Just gonna hop over here. That's not gonna work. Boom! So we will do 504 plus 30% missing health true damage, gain 424 max health, 50 movement speed, 70 attack speed. So many reasons to have this ulti, not many not to. I'm gonna zone use this. I love Red Smite. Wow, that was actually a Red Smite difference. She denied so much damage from me because of that. I guess it's a 1-for-1, but I had a huge bounty, which sucks. That's unfortunate, but we could build into that. Well, I did dodge nearly everything as well. You didn't dodge my W, bro. What do you got to say about that? Wondering if a better way. They don't have too many shields. No, I think this is a good buy. We'll stick with it.
As long as I draw breath, so does the revolution.
And another really cool thing about Bel'Veth is that her ultimate is permanently ready. There's no cooldown for it because it has no cooldown itself.
Swine and sheep. That's all they are. Magic
Wow.
cannot be caged.
It's a lot of dashes.
Run, sheep, run.
If I can get a few resets off with this ult, it's game over. She's used all of her abilities.
For me to find liberation.
It's worth it, honestly. It's not worth it. I'm dead now. Flash for a flash, I guess.
Evil. What does any of that mean?
Dude, that is so annoying. Maybe I shouldn't have Zhonya's that. I just didn't expect to hit it. But, dang it. Should have more faith in myself to hit my abilities. Right, we can sell this for this, and now we have one off a full build. 1800 damage from turrets. Going for that Bel'Veth ulti kind of killed me, honestly. But I really wanted it. I'd like to be in the fight.
No time to lick wounds.
Alright, so far this is on 1600 damage, 1730. It's really good. This is going to help us out a lot as well. Alright, Vel'Koz has no flash, so that's important to note. I really need Bel'Veth's ulti, and I need to get resets. Wait, that's the wrong... Ah, they just look so similar. This is okay ultimate as well. Ah, okay, we ultied each other. Dang it. That's fine, though. I have a low cooldown reduction.
No prison can hold me. With my
Just poke them with the Q. Will he just flash Q'd us? What is going on in this game, honestly? I am so low. But so is everyone. Look at all of them. If I had taken Bel'Veth's ultimate for resets, it would have been game over. Oh, now she's dead. Wait, I can take this.
I was born a mage.
I have this ultimate.
Me a criminal.
This is so intense. Wait, that was incredible. That was a fantastic Ashe ult.
It will be brother against brother, father against son.
Oh man, I could have killed him actually. He recalled just as I had gotten there. And Lilia is top? Okay. Free dragon for us then, I guess.
Tradition is a crutch for the mindless.
Yeah, unfortunately... This is a good fight, but I think it would have been better if I gotten the right ultimate. Okay, I can come up from behind and we can kill her. I'm a bit low, but I have Zhonya's just in case.
After 15 years in the dark, I was
Let's go.
illuminated.
He can ulti off of my knockup as well. I got you, bro. But Sylas' E does have a knockup, so yeah, he could have ultied off of it. But that's fine too, as long as we kill her, that's what's important.
The bluer the blood, the sweeter it spills.
An ally has been slain.
Kinda want this blue buff. They're fighting though.
Work their fingers to the bone, serving a king they'll never meet.
Oh wow, another amazing Ashe ult.
Show them there is more to life.
Uh-oh. Oh, wait, I killed her so fast I didn't get to steal her ultimate. Dang it. 3,600 for this, so close.
Strong as we think they are. No more kings, no
Alright.
more queens, no more mage seekers. It all
It looks like they recalled. Maybe we should just go Baron and try to close out the game now. Lichbane has been doing an incredible job this game. I am 5 levels above Cassiopeia. Oh my goodness. It's kind of risky by me, but just looking to catch someone out. Or maybe I'm looking to get caught out.
How I miss
Let's get Ashe. I think I just kill her with this, right? I think Ashe support is honestly so underrated. I'm so fast. She can't. How does she get away from this, honestly? I don't even think I needed to ignite. I think we go for Baron here, right? We take Baron really, really fast and then recall before they can take our inhib. Yeah. Just do this really fast. Okay, nice. Get death cap. I'm full build. Wait, hello. Okay. Death cap this. 721 AP. I just doubled my AP. That's really good. Chase them till the ends of the earth. Okay, Bel'Veth ultimate, now that it's rank 3, is actually going to give us such good stats now that we need to steal it. As well as the true damage and healing from proccing it.
We will rip the
I feel like I'm about to do something a little dumb. But as a Sylas player, you kind of have to do that. That's one W and one auto attack. Okay, I'm in a really sketchy spot though, with absolutely no vision.
But let loose a killer.
I had to get in a safe place because I knew she was gonna ult me. Okay, my ultimate's up in 13 seconds. I can just keep juggling ultis. It's such a small cooldown.
I am no traitor. I am the true Demacia.
Just be here with Jhin.
Let's level the playing field.
Oh, you're dead. Killer. Boom. Resets. I am in a bad spot. Wow, isn't Zhonya such a great item? I have 4,000 max health with this. Okay, someone needs to kill someone and then I'll reset. No. Okay. Boom. Oh my god, we killed all of them. 26, 4, and 3. I didn't even get to look at the first strike damage, but I know it did a lot. If you guys enjoyed the video, be sure to give it a like. Subscribe to the channel. We upload once a day. Sorry, not twice a day. Once a day. Every day, though. And I'd really appreciate it. I hope you guys enjoyed, and have a great rest of your day. Peace. Our Electrocute, Sudden Impact, Eyeball Collection, and Relentless Hunter, along with Transcendence and Gathering Storm. This is kind of the OG page for me. I'm not sure if this is going to stick around, but I think it's always good. And I think at this point it's probably better than Conqueror Everfrost. You can still go Everfrost with Electrocute. I think that's still fine. It's just that Conqueror, the healing got nerfed a lot. And you kind of want to go like high damage Sylas. You're not going for survivability. So although I'll build Everfrost, I don't plan on building Cosmic Drive anymore because the W healing got reduced, if you guys are unaware, as well as healing in general in the game. So I don't really see much of a point of trying to do things like that. Oop, I didn't mean to do that. Which kind of sucks. It's a bit of a bummer. But our base health was raised, our armor and magic resist was raised. Unfortunately, I'm dumb and went armor because I thought it was going to be a Pantheon mid Swain support, and I was mistaken. But it looks like the Swain didn't read the patch notes because he's going Conqueror, bro. But I think Swain took a big hit this patch because obviously you would normally want to go Conqueror with him. This wave is just too big the whole time. I'm just trying to focus on CSing. We're actually doing a really good job. We're going to have more than him since the wave is just crashing here. Solid last hits, if I do say so myself. Okay. So he has Resolve secondary. He's going Ignite, has Resolve. He might have Bone Plating, so let's... Okay. He doesn't have Bone Plating. I usually use the Q as a tester to see if they have it or not. And it's a Graves jungle with Ignite and Fleet Footwork. Sounds a bit scary. The Ignite mostly worries me.
No more masters.
Wow, I already have 1,000 HP at level 4. You actually notice these things. That's a good hit. That's a good trade, but I knew I wasn't going to kill him, so I'm not going to use my Ignite. One more trade like that, though, with Ignite and Electrocute should get us the kill. Oh, what the heck? I wasn't even seeing. I just gave him healing for nothing. Okay, I'm going to wait for my Electrocute to come up and then do a full combo, and hopefully that kills him because he just ate both of his health pots. Also might want to wait until level 5. So although our healing's reduced, our damage is the same, which is good. He's out of mana here. Yeah, I think I need a level 5. No way. I'm dead. I'm not using flash. Are you kidding me? I really hit that E on that stupid minion, dude. No! That one tower shot, dude. I was just dead there for sure. It's the Armoon special. I always get killed for first blood, and then somehow, some way, I come back and do really good. So let's just hope it's another one of those days. Dude, I am so salty right now. I shouldn't have thrown that out. Shouldn't have thrown out that E. Sometimes I just do it without thinking. It's depressing. Okay. Good news is he doesn't have Ignite now, so maybe that gives us a bit of an advantage. Okay. I actually thought they were going to lose that so hard. Can we catch Graves here, you think?
No more kings, no more queens.
You probably just recalled.
No more mage seekers. It all ends now.
Yikes, he's level 6. It would be foolish of me to fight him when he's 6, right? He's 100 AP. Or 73, yeah. When I'm level 6, I think I can and will fight him. It's just a matter of if I'm gonna get it. Can I upgrade, bro? I kept pressing my R to upgrade, and for some reason it wasn't going through. Yeah, we win that, though. He has no healing, because Conqueror just doesn't really heal you anymore. I'm completely out of mana, bro. If he has Ignite, I'm screwed. My healing was reduced. It's patch 12.10. Wait. You got it. I can't. I'm literally... Like, I actually had a... I could only do that. You're going for it? Oh, you're a savage. Worth it. Worth it. That was a shutdown, and I got a Dark Seal stack. Well... Good job. Good stuff. That was a risk.
Their shackles are now my weapons. How's that for irony?
Okay, so that helped us get back in a lot. I don't know why I always die to first blood to something really stupid, and then I end up coming back from it. It just I don't know why I do that. I make my own life harder for some reason, man. It's crazy. I can definitely tell the changes though, and I think it's great for Sylas having 1300 HP level 7. It's a lot. I take so much poke damage, and I'm still alive. Alright, so we're just gonna go for trades every time my Electrocute's up now.
I didn't care for it.
Yep, Sylas is still good, guys. I actually have 2 levels on him. He has no ulti because he used it last fight. He has Ignite! Oh, I forgot he has Ignite! No! Because I knew he used ulti on me the last fight. I had a 2-level advantage, which is a lot. Oh, that Ignite just wrecked me, though. I got double ignited, man. That's so much true damage. Ugh. Okay. So let's go Everfrost here. I'm the only AP, so the fact if they do I think Everfrost is good still, even with Electrocute. But I would be very surprised if they build magic resist this game. If we had 2 AP, I would probably build Luden Tempest because it has magic penetration in it. But I don't think we care too much about magic penetration. And magic penetration was also reduced a bit this patch as well. Not on this, but I believe it went from 45 to 40% for the Void Staff. Nah, I'm so close to being able to steal his ultimate. I think I just fight him. Oh no. He has Triumph. Wait, he has Triumph for some reason. I should have just been a bit more patient and waited to steal his ultimate. I thought I could do that, but he leveled up in the middle. Or he didn't level up, but oh my god. Can you say how we should play Sylas in late to mid game? Like, no one died, but I get one shot by literally every player. Well, that won't happen with this patch, hopefully. You just gotta be careful. If you get caught out in the late game, you're just dead as a melee mage.
As long as I draw breath, so does the
Oh, I'm so close. Is he staying? He has boots.
Bring it all down.
Ay, ay, ay. Ay, ay, ay. We can get a turret plate really fast before he comes back to lane. It's not a cannon wave, so we can push it out pretty quick. I've definitely made a few slight mistakes this game. What the heck? I just got blocked off. So he has Lee injuries now. This guy's Merc Treads. Okay. He uses everything there. And wasted his time. They're just gonna push this in. If I stay, they're gonna dive me. I don't think there's anything I can do about it. Oh, actually, yeah, I should stay.
I will show them a world without lords or
I'm dead there. His Ignite already came back up. So we get this into his Ignite. Wow. I'm kind of sucking. But that's okay. It makes the game interesting, right? Alright, we're just giving him a big bounty so we can kill him and take it. 5 head.
this is nothing.
Let's go bot lane. I made sure to take the Swain ult before I die, but I didn't want to use it for no reason. So I have Everfrost now, which is going to help out a lot. Flash. Shutdown. Wait, what? That's 5 plates. Why would we go for that? I have Ignite now and Swain doesn't. He also uses ultimate, so it'd be a 2-man fight. But I don't want to go in a prolonged fight with him. Yeah, he's dead.
I'm a man without a country.
We just gave him gold to take it, guys. That's all. I promise. It was all part of the plan. Well, I didn't think they would build magic resist this game. I'm really surprised he went Merc Treads. I guess we do have a lot of CC. So he was going for the CC and not the magic resist. 4-1. Kind of sloppy, Moon.
That which restrains us.
So, we're gonna go this. We're gonna buy this. We can get boots later.
That's all they are.
We definitely want to go Zonia's as a secondary item. Always. Always, always, always. Zonia's as a second item. This item was literally built for Sylas. It is too good. Although we're against a Swain who's AP. They're mostly AD, and a stopwatch is just amazing for him. Swain used ulti, but he probably has Ignite now.
Shall inherit the earth.
He's level 11. I probably want to fight him before his ultimate comes back, so I have that advantage, but I don't know where Graves is, and Graves has really been hanging out mid lane a lot. But I do have stopwatch, which is amazing for Swain's ultimate if we do want to fight.
Time to crack.
It's 3v4 actually. I messed up my timing there.
I will be the monster they fear.
Oh, I thought that hit! Oh no! Oh, I tried to dash through and W him. I shouldn't have done that. I should have dodged his E first. I thought I could go over his E. Why did I think I could go over his E? Oh my god, we still killed 2 of them. Ah, you freaking dog. I hate this Swain. Why did I think I could dash over it, dude? I went straight into it. It's okay, we live and we learn. That was a really good fight though, because it was actually 3v4. Sejuani wasn't there, so we actually won that really hard, considering our stance in that fight. I think he got it. Oh, it's a flash. Let's try.
I was born a mage.
Yo, this guy's thick. Oh, he's building. So he's going to burn build. He's going demonic. And Leandries. I literally can't hit cannon minions. It's not. It's illegal. It's actually illegal. Even when I W them, apparently. Oh god, Swain's missing, guys. Swain is missing. I repeat, Swain is MIA. They're so dead. It's totally coming there, dude. Okay, so Aurelia's still good. In patch 12.10. That we know. Red Smite's still stupid. Swain is full HP. I had a full combo on him and actually did nothing. Later. Killing that Red Smite actually did a lot. Ah! 7 kills to 7 kills, Swain. 19 to 19. This is a good close game. I'm actually enjoying it. Everfrost has been pretty clutch. We've rooted 3 times. It's been pretty good. Everyone just feels tanky now. I have 2,100 health. Grace has 2,000. Oh no. Okay. Swain's not here. I should be able to kill. I also have Zonia's. Wait, their ultimates suck to steal, actually, now that I'm looking at it. Flash. Ah, I'm a little off. Did Graves live? Oh my god, I was aiming for Misfortune. They're all so low. Thought we would kill Graves without it. Shut down. We can keep going, honestly. I guess I'll just do it myself. Rakan didn't even get an assist. Yikes. She gave a shutdown to Swain. But she killed Swain, so she got his shutdown. Dude! These cannons are trolling me. I would literally have 500 more gold. I've missed every cannon. And I'm not trying to last at it. I'm trying to secure it with abilities. Oh, this is just messed up.
Their shackles are now my weapons.
I am salty as a dog. I am a salty dog. That Pantheon just trolled it so hard. Rallies? I thought he was gonna go demonic. Rallies? Everfrost stiff. Yeet! I can't move, diff! I have Zonias anyways, so I think I'm fine. We're going! Help you, boy! Okay, we're gonna ignite him to reduce his healing. I'm unstoppable. Yo, literally what I said. We literally fed so hard in the beginning and sucked, and now we're 12-5-1 and unstoppable. Wow, why are they so hard to kill? They're thick. Why is every champion so thick right now? Took so many turret. I mean, I guess I'm one of them. Took so many shots from the turret there. I probably want to go Shadow Flame. Oh, am I deady? No one's really near me. Probably shouldn't be here. Probably gonna skedaddle. Wait, no, dude. Bruh. What are you doing? My Everfrost is up. I can almost get... Should I just go for... I was gonna get Shadow Flame, but maybe I just go Death Cap here. Uh-oh! You didn't have time to press your E! What? Did I literally go from like 4-5 to 14-5? I think I just haven't died 10 kills in a row. No joke. Oh my god. 12 points in, you dirty animal. Think when you have this much of a lead with Sylas, I'm backing. You guys can interview on backing. I think when you have this much of a lead, you just go Death Cap. Especially with this mythic passive. And they're not building magic resist still. So we're at 546. I don't know why they go in after we just won that fight really hard. Okay, so Grace is going Hex Drinker. So maybe we go Void Staff instead. I'm gonna take this ulti to clear the wave because they're gonna want to take this. We could just slow push and maybe win it. Just protect the tower here. Waste their time while Irelia kind of wins.
Good, evil.
And Sylas' ultimate got buffed. The cooldown reduction got buffed, so I don't mind taking ultimates and kind of just wasting them for things like this because it's going to be up again soon anyways.
An enemy has been slain.
Nice. Aurelion's doing very well.
You picked the wrong
Ally has been slain.
Not that well though. Can I take this real quick? Probably not. Nope. I'm not gonna risk my 1,000 gold for a tower, unfortunately. Alright, so looking at the map, we recognize that Sejuani is not here. She kind of never is. I have Zonia's up and I have this. I think we fight this, honestly. We want to hit Pantheon so fast that he doesn't have time for his ability. We want to root him here. Oh, we want to explode. I messed up my dash! Oh, I messed up my dash over the wall. Still obviously really good. But I could have killed these guys too. Oh no! I would have hit that. That's his flash. Alright, what are we doing?
I am no traitor. I am the true
I think
divine.
Graves is the hardest person to kill. Oi! Oi! What are you doing? What did I just witness? That was awful.
Can't keep living the life.
2-5 and we're pretty low.
Always stay one
We
step
probably
ahead
don't
of
fight
them all.
this. Yeah, we're gonna go Void Staff now. Used to get 15% Magic Pen, now it's 13. Please don't die, guys.
Work their fingers to the bone.
If I'm not there, just leave.
They'll never meet.
Por favor.
Show them there is more to life.
Gonna have to give that tower, unfortunately. I've rooted 7 people with this. I haven't missed because I have zero slows, which means every time I've sent it out, I've rooted them. You can definitely tell healing has been reduced because Swain should be healing so much more in these long-term fights, and I'm just killing him. Ah, I can't steal his ulti yet. It's so close. Oh. Yeah, that's a good Swain ultimate, if you ask me. That's a good Swain ultimate. Holy crap, I am the better Swain. We just 5-for-1 them. Jesus. And they surrendered. I just hop in there. Zhonya's literally the worst early game of my life. And then we end up one man carrying it. I don't know how my early game is so bad. And then, like, I just turn my brain on after I'm behind. For some reason, I have to put myself behind. But if you guys like that, be sure to like the video. Comment down below what you think. I think Sylas is gonna have a good time in season 12.10. And subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. I'd very much appreciate it. Have a good rest of your day, guys. Peace out. Alrighty, guys. Today we are playing Lunar Wraith Sylas with Conqueror, Presence of Mind, Legend, Tenacity, Last Stand, Second Wind, and Revitalize. So with the new Sylas buffs, he finally got his healing back, and that's exactly what we're going to be doing. Well, mostly at least, but we changed the secondary runes for that. We're going to be going Riftmaker this game, as well as Demonic Embrace, giving us a lot of HP while doing tons of damage at the moment. Hopefully finishing out the build with a Rabadon's Death Cap, as well as a Spirit Visage to help us out with even more healing, and a Zhonya's, just because Zhonya's is always fantastic on Sylas. Ooh. Dodge that Q, definitely don't want to fight him in this early game though. And although Doran's Ring is good, because we're going Second Wind Revitalize, Doran's Shield is honestly a pretty good first item too. I like to be more offense than defense, but nothing wrong with going Doran's Shield with these healing buffs.
Only sheep need a leader.
Okay, pretty good last hitting. I'm gonna ignite him here, just to make sure. I would rather use my ignite than use my flash. That was a really good gank though, because he kind of had nowhere to go. And he was pretty minion blocked, so I guess being pushed to your tower can be a good thing sometimes. If you have a good jungler who recognizes the matchups. Because Sylas versus Yas was pretty tough for the first few levels at least. With that, we can get our recall and start building towards what we need. Now, we don't, because Sylas also, his costs got reduced, as well as his healing being buffed and cooldown reduction being decreased, a lot of different kind of buffs. But because of that, we don't really need to build a tier like we normally would if we were going Riftmaker, since the mana costs are lower and Presence of Mind helps out a lot. It's honestly enough getting into the late game.
No more queens, no more mage seekers.
Oh, wow, he stole that.
Step right up.
I can meet down here. Nice. Oh, wait. I think you're dead. Okay, use his flash, though. Should be dead here. He has no escape. He uses Wind Wall. So, he can't really dodge my E. Look, it's kind of loud.
Time for the kings to bow.
That's good though. We kind of just destroyed the entire map. And I got a blue buff during all of it. An early lead is really good with this build too, since Riftmaker takes a really long time to get online. If we're already doing well now, that means we're smooth sailing for the rest of the game. Alright, we could get a Leeching Leer. That's going to help us out a lot, honestly. Make us pretty beefy.
We will rip the
And we can get
from
boots.
their cold, dead fists.
Oh, I didn't even realize. Wait, they have a Cho'Gath. They have a Cho'Gath support, which means even more health for me. That's honestly pretty perfect. I didn't realize that because I'm already going a pretty tanky build, and it's just going to make it even better.
How's that?
I'm feeling pretty confident, honestly. Kind of just playing with my cooldowns here, because they are pretty... I think that should kill. Right? Oh, really now? I'm healing so much, though. I could have flashed and maybe killed them, but it's not worth it because I lose my Darksteel stacks. I really don't want to do that. But, Jesus. Okay. There we go. These runes are actually doing a lot of healing for this early in the game. They're doing more than my main rune, Conqueror, which is pretty surprising.
After 15 years in the dark, I will illuminate.
Now that I'm level 6, though, once my ultimate's ready, I think I just want to start stealing ultimates. Or stealing Cho'Gath's ultimate every time that it's available. Oh, this is really close. But not close enough.
Eventually. They work their fingers to the bone, serving a king they'll never meet. I must show them there is more
And yeah,
to life.
I haven't even really noticed, but normally I'd be running out of mana constantly, and there hasn't been one fight or time yet where I've actually been So, it's pretty nice. You take it for granted.
You'll have to kill me.
Alright. Let's go steal Cho'Gath's ultimate now. I just want to steal it every time that it's ready. I don't even need to use it on a champion. I just want to use it on a minion and start building that up.
A shepherd with no
But I mean, I guess I'll use it and kill him if I can too.
Noxian swine, Tarsian
Yeah,
swine,
I didn't think so.
all end up at the slaughter.
I really do love this skin, and I think it doesn't get enough love. I think it's so beautiful, the sounds are great, and when you shield ultimate, it just lights up so cool. I wonder... Can I chomp on you, dude? Did I not click it? Okay. That was close.
Tradition is a
Almost messed
crutch
that up.
for the mindless.
This is ulti and ignite. But, man, we have so much health that even if we int like that or just play poorly, we don't even get punished, which is pretty cool.
Time to crack the upper crust.
I'm pretty out of mana, so I don't know how much I can really help you, to be honest. Probably not a lot. Sylas without mana is not a very strong champion. Nice. Got Riftmaker though. This Samira is getting quite thick though. Let's look. I think Set just 2v1 top lane. Damn. Yeah, Samira's 303 though. I guess that's kind of scary.
No more kings, no more queens, no more mage seekers. It all ends now. You picked the wrong side.
Okay, I see you on that dragon, Diana. And I am 3 levels above you, so I'm pretty confident that I can just walk up and kill you. Probably steal the dragon as well. Thank you for the leash. There's no plants.
Their shackles are now my weapons.
Oh, maybe I shouldn't have stolen Diana's ultimate because I could steal Cho'Gath's now. Kind of forgot about that. Oh, he is going deep.
A man who seeks
If he comes out of this alive, I'm going to be very surprised. Okay, no. Yeah, that kind of looked like a shutdown. Oh, I really want to get this tower before 14 minutes. I need to go bottom. I'm really out of mana though. But if I do get a kill, it will reset, and I do gain mana regeneration. I think I could do this. I think I could do this. I just need to steal Cho'Gath's ulti. Oh my god. Wait, I didn't steal her ultimate. Oh my god, I just... Wait, what? Wait, how did I live? Oh no, this is perfectly fine. I pressed my luck. Yeah, I should have died like 10 times there. I'm surprised I lived as long as I did. But that Samira W didn't allow me to use my ultimate. It's like a win wall. Pretty close to demonic though. That was an awesome fight too. I can't believe how I lived for... I almost got back to half HP with 1 W. That was insane.
even death cannot chain me.
Did give a pretty big shutdown though. What am I watching? The fact that he almost killed him under tower is insane.
I didn't care for it.
I keep forgetting. I'm gonna just stay on Cho'Gath now and steal his ultimate.
Revolution now!
Wow, this is a really close fight, but that Samira just healed a lot from that ultimate. That should be there. It's a long walk, but I think I'll make it.
How beautiful a world is without war.
Oh, she canceled her auto attack. Just don't kill Cho'Gath. Wait, don't kill Cho'Gath.
The mage shall inherit the earth.
Yeah, thank you.
They always said I was a monster.
Yeah. How much bonus health is that? 240? Nice. I need 1665 for demonic. I'm pretty close to that.
Your team has destroyed a turret. Your team has destroyed
Zach has passive. Okay, you just flashed though. I don't know how I feel about this without ultimate. Oh my god. I really don't need Smear's ultimate. It's honestly pretty awful.
Swine and sheep. That's
Well, we
all
lived
they
though.
are.
Or I lived at least, so that's pretty cool. Set, not so much. His ultimate's not available to steal yet. I'm just gonna recall and get demonic, honestly. Let's get a pink ward. I think I might want to build into death cap next item because that's really good with what I'm trying to do right now. The more AP means the more healing, and it goes really well with Conqueror. So I think I just kind of want to build straight into that for my third item.
Every Demacian a king.
Or I could build Spirit Visage. Both pretty good ideas. Let me get this blue buff real quick. Okay, let's fight now. Okay. That is a really good Misfortune ult. Unfortunately, you guys took my Penta. But it was still a good ult. No! They forfeited. Well, we still did pretty good.
First blood.
That is an interesting first blood. So we're against a Veigar. And because this second win Revitalize goes really well hand in hand with Doran's Shield, that's also a pretty good pickup for this matchup if you like the defensive side. I'm more offensive, so I like to go Doran's Ring instead. But nothing wrong with going Doran's Shield. Honestly helps out a lot as well. Some pretty good last hits. I don't think he has his cage yet. Nice. Yeah, if he didn't flash there, he's definitely dead. So Veigar without flash is pretty good. He might just TP back, honestly, because he was pretty low. No, okay. Okay, he's dead here. Okay, I didn't want to use my Ignite if I didn't have to, but oh my god, yeah. It's either my flash, I either use my flash to auto attack him, or I use my Ignite, so I'd rather use my Ignite. Alright, that's his TP. I don't really need a recall, but I always like to get an early Dark Seal. And the wave is going to even out anyway, so we can get these two and go back to lane.
No more kings, no more queens, no more mages.
I would think Sion beats this matchup, honestly, pretty hard against Master Yi. So it looks like he recalled and got a control ward. Okay. I don't know how much that'll help him.
A man who seeks control is a man who needs to
And normally, in ranged matchups, I would put 3 points into my Q. But since this is all about healing, I would rather put all of them into W immediately. And just focus on that.
We will rip the power from their cold, dead fists.
Oh my god. That's unfortunate. Alrighty, so he boarded the bottom brush.
Chains build revolutions, one link at a time.
I know without Ignite I probably can't kill him, but I can definitely get a good trade off. I might be able to kill him under tower too.
You think you're better than me?
If he uses his E, I can dive him, but if not, I don't think I can. He's pretty though. He's gonna have to recall.
You picked the wrong side.
And if I get level 6, I can just outplay button him and use his own ult against him, which I think I'm gonna do. He doesn't even have enough mana for an E, right? Okay. He might be baiting. Looks like Kha'Zix and Seraphine are coming for me if they just took drag. Yep. Wait! So low? I should not have been that scared. Baker probably recalled now too.
I must show them there is more to life.
Alright, so we're pretty out of mana. Now, normally you'd think we need to... Actually, this is an awful wave. Normally we would have to run a mana mythic, but because, as well as healing getting buffed for Sylas, a few of his mana costs were decreased. And so as long as you run Presence of Mind, it's not entirely needed to build tier. So that's pretty good. Unfortunately, we're not going to be able to use this ultimate. We want to go Ionian Boots, because that's always a really good rush for Sylas. Especially because Riftmaker only gives us 15 ability haste. And every little point helps out a lot. Wowza. I think they might be a little tilted. So it looks like top lane's winning, but bot lane is not.
Conflict brings truth. Eventually.
Maybe we can roam down and help them out since we do have Ionian Boots.
I was born a mage. The Marcia made me a criminal.
It's pretty tanky. That Kindle Gem, honestly, kind of making him thick. It's probably building into either Crown or Everfrost, so that kind of makes sense. Oh crap, it's just him. It's 2v3. Can we do it? Okay. I mean, I kind of want to keep my Conqueror stacks going. Wait, Vigor's completely out of mana. Okay. Sion kills him. Ugh. Oh, I lost my Conqueror stacks. I don't know if I kill this guy. He is really tanky. Dude. Okay, well, it's a good thing we're going this build, because we're going to have to kill Sion somehow. And we're going to need some true damage and some demonic embrace burn to do that. We could go back and get the Leeching Leer now, though, and that's a pretty big buy for us.
No more kings, no more queens, no more mage seekers. It all ends now.
I think we need to help bot lane.
I would have preferred you in cup.
I think she might die here under tower. Ooh, they're both level 7. Oh my, 80 CS to 25. Okay, we definitely gotta help him out. Seraphine looks pretty good to steal here. Maybe an Ashe ult? Nah, it's not her fault. She just got out CC'd.
On to the next case.
No way. That is a lot of heals and shields, if I do say so myself. Dang. I'll use my flash there. Thought maybe I'd be able to kill one of them. Maybe I focused the wrong one and I should have gone for Caitlyn. Not sure.
They work their fingers to the bone, serving a king they'll never meet. I must show them there is more to life.
This is pinked, but... Oh, his E just disappeared. I guess his E disappears if he dies. That is a really good Rift Herald. I should be able to get this tower. Ah. I kill him. Oh. I'm deady here, huh? Did she just shield him? No way. Oh my god, he lived. I'm out of mana. I'm sorry, Brant. But I'm dead if I don't do that. Yikes. Ah, those Seraphine shields are actually really big. She also has Guardian, so I guess that makes sense. At least we didn't die, though. I'm upset that we didn't kill him, but I'm glad that we didn't die because I do have 6 Dark Seal stacks and a bounty. She's got a bounty. If he kills her here, it's really good. Nice job. Oh crap. Wait. Do I go there or do I stay here? I don't know. Is that enough? That is enough. Those Conqueror stacks actually helped out a lot in securing that execution. And now I should be able to get this tower undisturbed with Kha'Zix being dead. I think even if Veigar has TP, it's too late, right? Oh god, is it? I normally would... I'm fine here, right? Okay. I normally would die for that, but... that's not worth my bounty and Dark Seal stacks. I definitely would die if I stayed. She would just trap me. Damn, that was really close. But I have enough for Riftmaker now, and that's all I really care about. This extra HP going a long way. And... look at these 2 runes healing me more than my Conqueror has, which is my main rune, so it's pretty crazy.
Headshot.
I think Master Yi is going to start getting outscaled by Sion.
Perhaps I'll take this one.
They're like all full HP. Oh! Is it even worth stealing her ultimate? Oh, nice. Nice. Oh my god. Got a triple kill right there. Without even using my ultimate, actually. It's pretty impressive. That's really just Sylas with his base kit. Not bad. We can start building into Demonic Embrace now, and we have a lot of HP. I really do like going the... I don't go armor or magic resist. I like going the HP one. And actually, I could really feel the difference.
I must show them there is more to life.
Oh, he actually didn't have ulti. That was pretty risky by him.
As expected.
Whatever they bring, I'll match.
ADC versus Mastery. I think we all know how this is going to go. Oh, wait. He actually died.
has been slain.
It's actually pretty surprising. She does a lot of damage.
What can they do to me that they...
I guess I could have saved him by flash, but I didn't think I would need to. So let's see. He has Everfrost and boots. I have Riftmaker. Wait, oh. I could 2v1 them, I think.
all they are.
My only worry is that because I have this much HP, it actually does leave me vulnerable to Veigar's percent HP ulti. I don't even know who I'm going for. But it doesn't even matter. I focused terribly there. I was going for Veigar or I was going for Kha'Zix, but honestly, having this much HP kind of allows me to play pretty poorly without punishment, which is cool, I guess. It's probably not a good thing, but I like it. Okay. We actually could have killed her there. That's a flash.
An enemy has been slain.
She's baiting me.
Tradition is
I can't do it.
for the
She's baiting me. She's baiting me. I can't do it. Oh, no way. I'm out of mana. Those shields are just ginormous. But at least I didn't die. You might be dead. But I'm not. Okay. Azonias would be really good here as well.
Their shackles are
I guess we'll
now
just buy a
my
stopwatch for now.
How's that?
We have 3,000 HP. That's a lot. Wow. We actually look like... I think we have more HP than the real tank. Ay, ay, ay. They just keep surrendering with this build. And alrighty, guys. If you guys liked the video, be sure to give it a like and subscribe to the channel below. We post every day, but this build is just bonkers. I don't even know what to say. These Sylas buffs, man. I love them. Enemy hates them, but I love them. Anyways, hope you have a great rest of your day, guys. I'll see you next time. Peace. Ahri is a pretty common matchup for Sylas right now in the mid lane. She has a lot of poke. So for this, I would recommend going Electrocute. Going First Strike would not be very helpful, but I think it's important to go a burst Sylas build. So I would want to go Assassin Sylas for this. Going the Electrocute runes like I've said before. And playing aggressive, but with the Ahri matchup, it's very important to play safe until you're at least level 3. And it's kind of a game of chicken. It's all about Ahri's charm. So you kind of want to bait out her charm. Once her charm is out of the way, then you can use your dash. But if you use your dash first, she's going to charm you. And also, if you do get charmed, it does cancel. So if you're in the middle of a W and she charms you in the middle of it, you won't deal damage to her and you won't heal. So it's really, really important to play around her E. If you use your E and you hit your E2 chain using your abduct, it will cancel if she charms you midway. So you have to be very, very careful about that. I would go into the lane with a Doran's Ring and Ignite because I would go for a kill lane. But like I said, just playing around her E. And her ultimate is one of the best ultimates for Sylas. Not only does it do damage, but it's 3 dashes and amazing utility, helping a melee mage like Sylas close the gap or get out of a tough situation. Akali is a very hard matchup and my most common ban. I think Akali is amazing against Sylas in the mid lane and poses a lot of threats. I would recommend banning her, to be honest, but if you did not ban her. Then in the laning phase, I suggest going Doran's Shield against her. You could either go Conqueror, First Strike, or Electrocute. It's honestly up to you. Akali can be tanky at times, so Conqueror could be good to burn her down, but she could also be one-shot. She's kind of like Sylas, where she's tanky and deals a ton of damage at the same time, so she will have a lot of HP, but she won't have a lot of magic resists or armor. This is technically more of a personal preference, but I would recommend going to the lane with Doran's Shield because she does have a lot of poke with her Q, and her Q outranges Sylas. She also doesn't use mana, so her being able to use energy and constantly harass Sylas makes the laning phase very difficult, and she just one-shots your entire team. Her ultimate is fantastic, but it's really hard to play around her and her Shroud. Sylas just kind of runs around in circles against an Akali, so I would most likely play around her Shroud, wait for her to use her W, and once that's gone, try to engage with her, but you don't want to hang around in her Shroud. She will just constantly bug you, and unless you have amazing cat-like reflexes, you're not going to be able to W her or cast any abilities on her. So playing around her W is the most important thing. Her ultimate is fantastic, so in most team fights, I would recommend taking that one and just going for the backline and trying to play safe for at least the first 3 levels. Akshan is a very tough matchup for Sylas. He has a lot of poke, he deals a lot of damage, and he harasses Sylas a lot. I ban him at sometimes, but for the most part with the new durability patch, it's not too hard to lane against him, although he does pose a lot of threats. At the same time, he's a squishy, ranged marksman. So playing around his E is very important. He has a lot of escape, but without that E, he has nothing. Usually you want to bait it out, and if you're really fast, you can actually cancel his E with your own if you hit the chain. For this matchup, I would recommend building a Doran's Shield going into the laning phase because he does poke a lot, and maybe even taking TP so that you can get a quick reset in. If you're more aggressive, I would recommend going Ignite, and for this, since he is squishy, I would go Electrocute. First Strike might not be the best choice because most of the time he will proc it and not allow you to use it, kind of rendering your rune useless. Anivia is a very tough matchup for Sylas. Not only is she ranged and have a lot of poke, but she has her passive, which makes it very hard for Sylas to do anything in the early game. For this matchup, I would recommend going a Doran's Shield or Doran's Ring. She doesn't do too much damage in the early game, but she is very annoying. I would recommend going Electrocute for this matchup. Going First Strike will pose a threat, and she probably won't allow you to use it very much since she is going to harass you most of the time. I would take Ignite, though, to go for kill lane, and it's very hard. If you're in this matchup with Anivia, I would really encourage your jungler to help you because Sylas has very long cooldowns in the early game, and although he might do a lot of damage at level 3 and be able to kill Anivia, once he has no abilities for the next 10 seconds, since his cooldowns are very long, she's going to come back to full health. So I wouldn't try to kill her all at once. I would try to kill her with your jungler, or make sure that you have your abilities ready and on standby for when she goes in her egg so you can finish the job. The Annie matchup is pretty good for both sides. Her ulti is pretty fantastic, but going into the lane, she doesn't do too much damage. Although she will poke you, I recommend going Doran's Ring just for the extra mana and ability power, allowing you to do more damage to her and stay in the lane. She is quite annoying, but her auto attacks don't do that much. I recommend taking Electrocute in this since she is ranged. She will stop you from using your First Strike, as most ranged mid laners do, and going Ignite, just go for the kill lane on Annie. She's really small, which you don't really think about it much, but it's actually pretty hard to hit your E2 on small champions like Annie and Veigar. So be sure to be careful with how you approach this matchup and make sure that you can hit the E. Like any other matchup, you want to play around her stun. You want to be pretty careful, but honestly, Annie's not that common of a matchup in the mid lane, so she's not too much of a threat. Her ultimate is also fantastic for Sylas to steal. And he can perform an E2 combo with her ultimate, making him do tons of damage. So I would go the assassin route with this, going Electrocute and bursting the enemy. Aurelion Sol. Now this is a matchup that you probably don't see very often. I don't even see many people play him, and Sylas basically destroys him. For this matchup, I would recommend going Electrocute since he is a ranged mid laner, but you will do so much damage against him. Be sure to go all kill. You don't even need a Doran's shield, so take a Doran's ring into the lane using Ignite, and once you're level 3, he might poke you until you get to level 3. I would play safe until then, but once you're level 3, as long as you hit an entire combo using your Electrocute and Ignite, you should be able to take the first blood against him. He has no mobility, he has no dash or blink, so he's quite easy to hit, and he's pretty easy to do a full combo on. His ultimate's okay, and you can combo it into your E2, but I wouldn't recommend taking it all the time as it doesn't really do that much damage. I would more often use it as a defense mechanism to push enemies away, but the Aurelion Soul matchup is quite easy, and just make sure that you don't get too low before level 3. Go all in on him using your Doran's Ring and Ignite, and you should do enough damage. Azir is a very tough matchup for Sylas. He has amazing kite ability against him, and he can maneuver around him. For this matchup, I would recommend going a Doran's Shield most of the time. Doran's Ring if you want, but he's pretty slippery to catch, and I would not recommend going a First Strike against him. For this matchup, you would want to go Electrocute or Conqueror, as he does do a lot of poke. Conqueror might be better since the secondary runes are Revitalize and Second Wind, so that makes his poke in the laning phase a little easier. I recommend going Ignite for this, as you do want to go kill lane, but if you want to go TP because you get poked down too much, that's perfectly fine too. In this matchup, you want to play extremely safe until you're at least level 3, as he will completely win and dominate the early fights. But once you get level 3, you can start acting a little bit more aggressive towards him and going in for a kill around level 3 or 4, just making sure that you play around his E. And once he uses his E, which is his dash, it makes it a lot easier because he has no more mobility, and it's easy to land your E2 on him. Brand is quite an easy matchup for Sylas. Although he does do a lot of damage, he's extremely immobile and very easy to one-shot. So for this matchup, I would recommend going Doran's Ring as a starting item and going Ignite so you can go kill lane. Brand does do a lot of damage, so it's important to use your E to dodge his skill shots, but once he's used his skill shots, you can go in on him. It's kind of a game of chicken. You don't want to use your dash because then you're the immobile one. So make sure that he uses abilities before going in on him. And once he uses his stun or ability, you can do an entire combo and usually kill him before level or after level 3. But make sure that you're respectful of his range and abilities and damage before then. Camille is a pretty tough matchup for Sylas. She can cancel his W and E, so in this matchup, I would recommend going either a Doran's Shield or a Doran's Ring. Both are fine. Going First Strike is preferable against Camille, doing quick trades because she is melee really fast, allowing you to deal extra damage and then walk away while getting gold as well. I would personally go Ignite because Ignite works very good at the First Strike, also dealing even more damage and allowing yourself to get more gold. And you want to play around her E with your own E. So usually when she dashes at you, you want to use your own dash to dodge it, leaving her vulnerable to do an entire combo and take a ton of damage. It's important to keep your distance from Camille and just understand the champion, playing respectful to when she uses her Q and making sure you're not getting hit by the other Q too. So it's a kind of a game of back and forth, but you want to make sure that you trade with her very quickly and then get out of there. Her ultimate's also quite good if you're trying to seclude someone, and as a assassin that comes in handy. So taking her ultimate is pretty good most of the time, and it allows her to take a lot of damage from you, and you can even dodge her abilities because it does make you invulnerable while you're in the air, making tower dives a thing of ease. Cassiopeia is one of Sylas' hardest laning phases. For this matchup, you're going to want to start a Doran's Shield, preferably going the Conqueror rune path because the Second Wind and Revitalize help a lot. You want to play pretty safe levels 1 to 3, allowing her to push you in a tower and playing around her W. Her W does not allow you to use any of your abilities, which is very important for Sylas as he does need his dash, and without any abilities, he's basically a cannon minion. So make sure you play around her W, usually trying to bait that out. Once that's baited out, you can go in on her, but never use your dash first. Never go in on her. Make sure that she uses abilities. I would personally take Ignite, but if you want to take TP to get back in the lane after some resets because she will poke you down a lot, that's perfectly fine. In the Cho'Gath matchup, you most likely want to go Doran's Ring and First Strike. Although he is a tank, dealing extra damage to him in the early game is fantastic, and you can basically use his ulti better than he can. I love the Cho'Gath matchup. I think it's super fun, and I try to steal his ultimate basically every time that it's up because Sylas does scale with it, and he deals probably more damage than Cho'Gath does since he's a full AP champion. I would go full kill lane in here, going Doran's Ring and Ignite. As like I said, First Strike because he is a melee matchup. Trying to do quick trades in the beginning and basically maximize what you can. It's important to play around his Q, as you can use your dash to get around it. Make sure you don't use your dash first because then he'll have a easy Q for you. But the thing about Cho'Gath that makes him so wonderful is because his ult does so much damage. He's still so easy to burst even if he is a complete tank. For the Corki matchup, you probably want to start Doran's Shield as he does do a lot of poke and annoy you in the beginning of the game. He will most likely win levels 1 through 3, so you want to play pretty safe. But I would recommend going Ignite in this lane because he is pretty squishy. Going Ignite as well as the Electrocute runes, not the First Strike runes because you can stop those pretty easily and proc them from going off. You want to go extremely aggressive once you hit level 3, but you want to make sure that he uses his W. The thing about Corki's W is it has a very long cooldown in the beginning of the game, almost 20 seconds. So if you can bait that out of him, even if you use your dash has lower cooldown than his. Once he uses his W, he's extremely immobile and easy to one-shot, making that lane pretty easy, but make sure you wait until you're level 3 to do a full combo on Corki, using your Electrocute for quick trades. In the Darius matchup, you will probably want to go Doran's Ring along with First Strike. Although he does do a lot of damage, he's pretty melee, and most of the time he doesn't really poke you. The important thing about playing against Darius is doing quick, fast trades and then getting the hell out of there. Because if you stay in the fight too long, he'll get more bleed than you. You'll have no abilities. So it's very important that when you do fight Darius, you go in quick, do your abilities, and then run out. Most of the time, I wouldn't even use my E. I would walk up to him, W, Q, auto, and then use your dash to get away. It's very important to use your W as well as your E against Darius. When he does charge up his Q, a lot of people think that the right thing to do is run away, but the best thing to do is dash into him, not allowing him to deal much damage and not allowing him to heal. So make sure that you wait for him to use his Q and then dash into him. You want to go First Strike as well as Ignite in this lane, going aggressive with Doran's Ring. And like I said, try to do a few quick trades, respecting his early game, of course, because in the early levels 1 through 3, if it's an auto attack battle, he will completely obliterate you. So playing very respectful and safe, especially if he has Ghost or Ignite, and then doing quick trades here and there until he's dead. In the Diana matchup, you're going to want to play pretty aggressive as she is not that strong. Levels 1 through 3 and kind of struggles like Sylas does. You want to take First Strike as your rune as well as Ignite, and you want to play pretty aggressive. Now you don't want to go into auto attack fights with her until you're at least level 3. Doing quick trades is the best thing to do, but you shouldn't be too afraid of her as she is melee and you can do quick trades on her as well. I like to play very aggressive into her, using her own ultimate against her, and if you have a Yasuo on your team, even better because it allows you to have a big knock up. You can cast the ultimate with your E2. So in this laning phase, I would be quite aggressive, waiting until level 3 and playing at your tower until then, using Ignite to kill her instantly, and making sure that your First Strike proc works, making sure that you're the one that hits first in the combo and matchup to do extra damage and gain that extra gold. Ekko is a lot like Sylas, so this matchup is pretty even for the most part. I would recommend going First Strike as well as Doran's Ring and Ignite, trying to be very aggressive in the laning phase. He is melee, so he won't really do much to you. The focus of this lane is to do quick trades, allowing your First Strike to proc off, so make sure that you're the first one to hit, doing quick trades and then getting out of there, trying not to allow him to react and get his 3 auto attacks off for his passive. I wouldn't be too afraid of him in the early game as he does struggle the same as Sylas. You're most likely both going to farm and keep the lane in the middle, or keep the wave in the middle of the lane, allowing both people to kind of struggle like that. But only fight him when you have your First Strike up. If not, he will most likely win the matchups. And using his ultimate is fantastic, probably even better for Sylas than it is Ekko. So taking his ultimate as a priority in most fights, allowing yourself to tower dive or to go in, engaging the fights and things like that, making the enemy team run with their tails up. Fiora is a pretty tough matchup for Sylas. I would take a Doran's Shield as well as go either First Strike or Conqueror. First Strike would be better in the early game, but fall off in the late game, and Conqueror would be worse in the early game, but better in the late game. So this is more of a preference, but you want to go Doran's Shield as she does poke a lot, especially with her vitals. An important thing to note about Fiora is that she can parry your W and your E2, so it's very important to play around that. She's most definitely going to win long fights, so in the early game you want to go for quick trades, especially if you have First Strike. If you're running Conqueror, making sure to go for your full trades using all of your abilities and then getting out while you wait for your cooldowns to come back, then going back in very fast, like kind of like that juggle Sylas. You would want to take either Ignite or TP depending on how you feel about the matchup and how aggressive you're going to be. But for the most part, this matchup is quite even. It's just playing around Fiora's parry. Her ulti is very okay for Sylas, so I wouldn't recommend picking it up most of the time, but if it is the only ultimate to pick up, then there's no shame in doing that. In the Fizz matchup, Sylas does Excel. Make sure that you go First Strike as your main rune and go Doran's Ring with Ignite. You want to go kill lane here, but you also have to be pretty careful in the beginning. From levels 1 through 3, you have to respect his passive auto attacks and W. You don't want to get into a fight that lasts too long with Fizz, as he will normally beat you. You want to go for quick trades with your First Strike, allowing yourself to get that bonus damage off and obtain that bonus gold without giving him too much leeway. Making sure that you're conscious that if you do W him and he E's, you won't do damage and you won't heal. So it's very important to bait his E out and then go for a full combo. Without Fizz's E, he's very susceptible to getting CC'd as he is immobile, so it's important to go and wait for that, kind of playing a game of chicken, being respectful from levels 1 through 3, but once you hit level 3, going in for that kill with the Ignite, most likely getting pushed into your tower. Fizz's ultimate is quite amazing for Sylas, as you can cast it while you're performing your E2. It deals a lot of damage, it slows, and it does exactly what Fizz does, but maybe even better. Galio is one of Sylas' biggest counters in the mid lane, as he is a literal anti-mage, having a shield, being a tank, and CCing Sylas, not allowing him to do anything. For this matchup, I recommend going a Doran's Ring, not a Doran's Shield, because he doesn't poke very much and he has melee, but I recommend going Conqueror. You're going to most likely want to be a tank, so you don't want him to CC you too hard, and if he does CC you, you don't want to die in the blink of an eye. So going Doran's Ring, but going Conqueror with the defensive secondary runes are a good idea in this matchup, going Riftmaker and Demonic Embrace, making you a challenge for Galio, as you are just as tanky as him. It's important to play around his abilities and play safe in levels 1 through 3, as he does have the advantage and he has a lot of roam power, so make sure that you steal his ultimate when you think he's going to roam, allowing yourself to match him if he does anything. In this matchup, I would particularly take TP because, like I said, most Galio players are looking to roam the map and you want to match him, so they'll most likely take Predator and roam around. You want to take TP so you can meet him where he goes and not allow him to snowball his own lanes and make your team mad at you. I would play safe from levels 1 through 3, and then most likely, if you can get long trades off, that's good, holding your Conqueror for 12 stacks and then using the W for maximum amount of damage, but most likely you won't be able to get a kill, especially if you're not taking Ignite, so kind of wait, focus on farming and wait for your jungler to help you for the kill potential. Although Gangplank is a melee matchup, I would not recommend going First Strike into him, as he can cancel your First Strike a lot just with his easy Q, point and click. For this matchup, I would go Electrocute, looking to burst down the Gangplank before he bursts you down. He's going to be very aggressive and poke you a lot. His Q hurts and his passive auto attack hurts a lot in the early game, so I would play pretty safe levels 1 through 3, but once you can look for an opening, I would go for the kill. In this matchup, I recommend taking Ignite, but also be very conscious that he can remove the Ignite with his W, Scurvy, remove Scurvy. So make sure that if you do Ignite him, you do it after he uses his W, otherwise it's not there at all. This is a pretty intense lane, but you want to play pretty safe until you're at least level 3. Once you're level 3 or 4, you can go in for the kill. Playing around his barrels are really good for Sylas as well, because Sylas gains 125% attack speed with his passive auto attacks, allowing him to hit the barrels at the last HP bar much faster than his bullets will travel or his auto attack, giving Sylas a bit of an advantage. So make sure that you're on top of killing his barrels if you want to go in, or just using your dash to get around them. His ulti is also perfect for Sylas as it does scale with AP, so taking this ultimate in a big team fight is a fantastic idea. Garen is the dirty Demacian in which we don't know and don't love. In this matchup, he is a big counter to Sylas and very annoying. He pokes him a lot. I would recommend going either First Strike if you want to be extremely aggressive, or you can go Conqueror with Doran's shield if you want to let him kind of stomp all over you and you kind of wait for the late game. First Strike is better for the early game, worse for the late game in this matchup, and Conqueror is better for the early game. Better for the late game and worse for the early game. So depending on your playstyle, you can go either or. I recommend going Doran's Shield if you go Conqueror, or Doran's Ring if you go First Strike, making sure that you do fast combos if you have First Strike, poking him down and hitting him first so that you do the bonus damage and get the bonus gold. If you plan on going the Conqueror route with Doran's Shield, don't try to fight him very much and just focus on your farming, especially in levels 1 through 3. He 100% beats you. So make sure that you play around his W, waiting for his W to go off, and make sure that you're playing around his Q, as that does silence you and does not allow you to use your W when you most likely need it most. I would recommend go First Strike and Ignite in this matchup and playing very aggressive, not allowing him to get that lead and push you into the tower, because if he does that, he kind of just takes control of the lane. I would play the safe levels 1 through 3, and then once I hit level 4 or 5, because we do need a little bit of extra damage as he is pretty tanky with his W, we want a few points into our abilities before we go all in, but with the Ignite, it makes it very easy to do a bunch of damage and secure the kill. His ultimate is also an extremely good execution, so I recommend taking that if you're in a solo 1v1 fight, as Sylas most likely will be able to use it better than Garen does, making them reach a very low health bar point before Garen can. Gnar is quite a hard matchup for Sylas, but not a very common one. At least it is in the beginning of the game. Because he is ranged, you most likely won't want to go First Strike, but because he is really squishy, going Electrocute is a very good idea. Looking to get that early game poke on him, I recommend going Electrocute with Doran's Ring and Ignite, looking for that kill lane, but respecting his early game with levels 1 through 3, allowing him to push you to the tower. Once you're around level 3 or 4, you can look for the kill using your Ignite, but make sure that you fight him when he is in his little Gnar form and not his big Gnar form, waiting out that form. His ultimate is fantastic for Sylas, as Sylas does not have a rage bar, so he's able to use it immediately, also allowing him to just immediately use this ultimate. It does a lot of CC. I like to make very flashy plays with it, and you can also cast it in the middle of your E2 for some fancy footwork, allowing Gnar to take to not even let his team do anything, and hopefully getting the engage faster before he does. Gragas is a pretty annoying matchup for Sylas. In this matchup, I recommend going First Strike with Doran's Ring or Conqueror with Doran's Ring. First Strike will do less damage in the late game, but more damage in the early game, and Conqueror will do more damage in the late game, but not as much in the early game. I recommend going Ignite with Doran's Ring, looking for the kill lane with if you decide to go the First Strike route, doing tons of damage, but also making sure that you hit him first, using your Q to proc that First Strike and then going in for the full combo. You want to play around his E, because unfortunately his E does cancel your W or E2, so make sure that you play around that, also using your own dash to get out of sticky situations. His ultimate's pretty fantastic for Sylas, as most Gragas players do not go full AP. Sylas does and can do massive amounts of damage with the ulti, also putting them out of position and making them outplay. He can cast this with his E2, so he can cast it and make them go back into a tower, or he can use it as a defense mechanism to get people away from him as well. I would play quite safe levels 1 through 3, but once you hit around level 4 or 5, because he is a little tanky, you want to go for quick trades and then go in for the kill with the Ignite. Gwen is a tough matchup for Sylas. She does do a lot of damage, and her passive on her W when she is immune makes it very tough. For this matchup, I recommend going First Strike because she is melee. It's important to do a lot of damage to her, but you don't want to stay in a fight too long because she does do Conqueror and will out damage you. In this matchup, I would take Doran's Ring and Ignite, as like I said, with the First Strike, looking for quick combos so you can deal bonus damage and gain bonus gold, but then running away until your cooldowns come up again and your First Strike comes up again as well. I would play safe levels 1 through 3, as her auto attacks will out damage you, but once you hit level 3 or 4, you can go in using your Ignite and doing a full combo, killing her, as she is quite immobile and staying within her W. Her ulti works very well for Sylas, dealing tons of damage, and probably more damage than she would, So I recommend taking that, especially if it is a 1v1 fight. Although it does not offer any CC, it does a lot of damage if you're trying to be up close and personal with the enemy. Heimerdinger is one of the hardest matchups for Sylas, and honestly, if he was more popular, I would ban him more often, but luckily he is not. But if you find yourself here and against him in a very unlucky circumstance, I highly recommend going Conqueror with Doran's shield. He is going to poke you a lot, so it's important to go the Conqueror rune so that you can sustain with the second win and revitalize, and the Doran's shield. You may want to go TP in this matchup as he will poke you, and you might want to go back to base, which is perfectly fine. He is very strong in all levels, and he kind of dominates the laning phase, so you're going to have to respect him. Most likely putting extra 3 points into your Q in this matchup so you can take out his turrets with your Q. Once you take out his turrets, you can look for an opening. The good thing is he is very immobile, so you're able to lock him down. Just make sure that you take all of his turrets out with your Q before doing any kind of engage. His ultimate is fantastic, and as many people know, you can choose when you take Heimerdinger's ultimate if you would like to use the empowered Q, W, or E. It's very situational, but for Sylas, in most circumstances, you want to go for the E as it will stun them and be a fantastic engage. The Illaoi matchup is pretty tough for Sylas, but pretty tough for everyone in general. For this matchup, I recommend going Doran's Ring as well as First Strike and Ignite, playing as aggressive as possible. The matchup isn't too bad, it's just a matter of if she hits her E. It's a game of chicken, so if she tries to E you, make sure that you hold your own E to dash out of it. After she misses that, you can go in for a full combo, but be respectful of her high damage and healing. You want to go First Strike with this and do quick trades, but be respectful from levels 1 through 3. Once you hit level 3 or 4, you can go in for an all-in using your Ignite, First Strike bonus damage, and hopefully getting a kill, just making sure that you're dodging her E with your own. So you don't want to use your dash first, you want her to use her E first. Unfortunately, Illaoi's ultimate is pretty awful for Sylas as it does not reset or work with his own W. I wouldn't recommend taking it, but if it's the only ultimate to take in the circumstance, then there's nothing wrong with it. In the Aurelion matchup, I recommend going Doran's Ring along with First Strike and Ignite because she is melee. Although she is a bit intimidating, you can do a lot of damage to her. Play this matchup in a quick form, using your abilities to use your First Strike for the bonus damage and bonus gold, but once your abilities have been used and they're all on cooldown, you want to run away. She will beat you in an elongated fight. It's important to use your E to dodge her stun with her E, so make sure that you hold on to that and try not to fight her while she has her passive up, especially if there's a large minion wave and she has 4 stacks already. In the laning phase, like I said, you want to play pretty passive until you're at least level 3. Once you're level 3, using your abilities for quick combos, and then basically just continuing to do that until she's low enough to go for an all-in with the Ignite. Aurelia's ultimate is quite good as it does work with Sylas' AP scaling, and it can be casted with his E2, so using that in a quick combo fashion and locking down someone for a quick execute is always a very good idea. In the Jax matchup, I recommend taking a Doran's Ring as well as First Strike and Ignite, as you will want to go kill lane. In this matchup, Jax is very intimidating and can dodge your passive auto attacks with his E, so it is important to play around that. In this matchup, you want to do quick trades using your First Strike for bonus damage and bonus gold. In the early levels 1 through 3, though, you'll want to respect him as he will outdamage you in elongated fights. Once you're level 3, you want to use all of your abilities on Jax until they are on cooldown, getting quick trades and quick damage until he is low enough for you to go all in when you're levels 4 or 5 with the extra points in W, using your Ignite to go for the kill. It's just around playing his E, so make sure that you use your own E once he uses that so you don't get caught up in the stun. Once he casts his Counter-Strike, you want to use your E to get out of it, and then use your E2 to get back in the fight, doing your auto attack damages and hopefully out-damaging him in a quick, bursty fashion. Jax's ultimate does work as well with Sylas, making every third auto attack deal a lot of damage since it does have AP scaling. This is quite a good ability to steal, especially in elongated fights, and it gives him bonus stats if he does use the ultimate, so the Jax matchup is quite heavily favored in Sylas. In the Jace matchup, you will want to go Doran's shield or Doran's ring, but you definitely don't want to go first strike as he does do a lot of poke damage. I recommend going Electrocute with Doran's ring for the kill lane as he does do a lot of poke. He's still quite squishy and not as tanky as the other top laners because he doesn't really build tanky. The laning phase is pretty tough, but after levels 1 through 3, allowing him to have the space that he has and letting him push into your tower, you can look for quick trades with the Electrocute and the kill if you go in when you're level 3 using your Ignite. Jace's ultimate is not exactly ideal for Sylas as it doesn't do much, but if there's nothing else to take, it still gives you a passive stack and it's better than nothing. In the mid lane matchup of Karthus, although he's not much of a mid laner, he's still pretty annoying. I would go Electrocute because he most likely will poke you down and not allow you to use your first strike, as well as Flash and Ignite going in for the kill. He does have a lot of poke, but he's extremely immobile, so playing back until at least level 3, going into your tower, but then looking for a kill once you hit level 3, doing an entire combo as well as Ignite, and killing him in one shot. The Karthus matchup is pretty annoying if you're far away from him, but getting up close and personal and killing him quickly is a good idea, and then getting out of there when he's in his passive form. If you want to have fun and go first strike, it's pretty good, using his ultimate against himself and gaining tons of gold while doing it. Unfortunately, you won't really get much value out of first strike in the first few levels, or at least until you're level 6 using that, but it's fun nonetheless. In the Kassadin matchup, you're going to want to go first strike along with Doran's ring, Flash, and Ignite, trying to be in the kill lane. Although he is an anti-mage and his Q does proc shield against magic damage, it's still a pretty good lane for Sylas. You don't want Kassadin to scale, so you want to be as aggressive as possible in the early game, doing as much damage and as many combos as you can, making sure that you hit first so that your first strike goes off and you deal bonus damage and bonus gold. It's important that he is very mobile, so trying to do things before he reaches level 6 is extremely important to stop him from snowballing. In this matchup, I would play pretty medium in the laning phase, keeping the lane in the middle of the lane. Once you hit level 3, looking for a lot of combos with your first strike whenever it's up, and then once you're level 4 or 5, doing a full combo with Ignite and hopefully killing him, making him suffer, and putting him behind in the laning phase. In the Katarina matchup, I recommend going first strike as well as Doran's ring and Ignite, as well as Flash. She will be a little bit annoying with her daggers, but as long as you fight her before her daggers come up, it should be an easy kill. She's quite squishy, but she's also very mobile, so it's important to realize that her ulti also applies grievous wounds. In this matchup, I would play pretty medium. Because she is melee, she doesn't threat too much, so you want to keep the lane in the middle, or keep the wave in the middle of the lane, not allowing her to push you in a tower, but making it kind of even. Once you hit level 3, you can go in for a full combo, trying to kill her pretty quickly, but making sure that the fight doesn't last too long, because most Katarinas do take Conqueror. You want to do your combo very quickly, and then get out of there until your cooldown reductions are back. In the Kayle matchup, I recommend going Doran's ring as well as first strike and Ignite, trying to go on the kill lane, as Kayle is a very scaling champion. You want to dominate her in the early game as much as possible. You want to go pretty medium in the lane because she is melee at first, trying to do quick trades and getting that bonus damage and bonus gold from first strike, but not taking too much. She's very easy to kill, honestly, and her ultimate is fantastic for Sylas to steal because she's quite immobile. Other than the movement speed that she gets from her W, you basically just want to go as aggressive as possible into her as she is squishy and not allow her to scale into Oblivion into the late game. I recommend playing it safe levels 1 through 3, but once you're level 3, you can do a full combo and one-shot her with Ignite, making her go behind in the laning phase and hopefully keeping it that way. Using her ultimate is also fantastic for Sylas and probably is better for him as it is her. It can be casted in his E2 while he's traveling, so be sure to do that, and it also helps Sylas become the engage if he needs be of a team fight, allowing himself or an ally to go invulnerable and deal tons of damage. In the matchup of Kennen, I recommend either going Doran's ring and Electrocute with Ignite, or going Doran's shield with Conqueror and TP. Two completely different paths you can take. The Electrocute will be better for the early laning phase, but it's important that you hit your E on Kennen. It is a bit hard to hit your E2 on him because he is a small figure, but if you're confident in your own ability, then do that. If you want to play pretty safe, there's no shame in going Doran's shield with the Conqueror runes, as it allows you to take more damage in the laning phase and not make you recall all the time. And if you do recall, you have the TP. In the levels 1 through 3, you want to play quite respectful of Kennen, as he does have a lot of range on you and poke you down a lot. You don't want to get too low, but because he is really squishy, once you hit level 3, whether you're going Conqueror or Ignite, you'll be able to do enough damage and go in for the kill. Using Kennen's ultimate is also very important, and it's one of the best ultimates for Sylas, so it's definitely a priority to steal and can make you the engage of a team, helping you as long as you have Zhonya's as well. In the LeBlanc matchup, although she is ranged, it might be a good idea to go first strike in this matchup if you can land the Q before she lands her abilities. Sylas does indeed counter LeBlanc, so this is a pretty good matchup for Sylas. Going Electrocute is also a good idea, but you definitely want to be aggressive, taking Doran's Ring and Ignite as your starting items and summoner spells. In this matchup, she doesn't really poke too much, so I wouldn't be too worried in the early game. And the great thing about LeBlanc to remember is that whenever she dashes into you, be sure to have your finger ready on the W key, allowing her to not do much damage and healing yourself, allowing the trade to usually go in your favor. It's also important to remember that if you steal LeBlanc's ultimate, you have the choice, or actually you don't have the choice. It is whatever she used last. So make sure that you don't steal it if she used a Q last, as it doesn't really do much damage. And you want to prioritize either her W for utility and damage or her E to lock down an enemy with that skill shot. In the laning phase, you want to play quite respectful, but trying to get your Electrocute proc off whenever it's available. As long as you do a few trades in, using your abilities while they're up and not using them while they're on cooldown, playing respectful of her. Once you're level 3, you can go for an all-in, making sure that you ignite the right clone so that you know which one is the real LeBlanc, and going in for an all-in burst kill. Sylas counters Lissandra extremely well, so usually this matchup goes pretty well for Sylas, and I find it favorable most of the time, as he uses her ultimate better than she does. In this matchup, you'll want to go Doran's Ring with Electrocute, as she is ranged. You won't be able to get the first strike proc as much as you want. You want to play pretty aggressive in this laning phase, but be respectful levels 1 through 3 so that you don't take too much damage, as they are usually running things like Electrocute and Arcane Comet, which can take a toll over time. It's important to be conscious of Lissandra's E, because without her E, she's quite immobile, making sure that she uses that early on, as it has a very long cooldown, and then playing aggressive. It'd be a good idea to bait that out of her, but in the laning phase, once you reach level 3, you can go in for an all-in with the Electrocute and Ignite Burst, hopefully killing her. Like I said, her ultimate is fantastic for Sylas, as it is a Zhonya that heals you and deals damage to enemies, or you can lock down an enemy, which is great for Sylas to one-shot and burst immediately. I would prioritize this as one of the best ultimates you can steal within the game, and take it as many times as you can, hopefully dominating the laning phase once you reach level 6. Lux is Sylas' little light, unfortunately, but in this matchup, you're going to want to go Electrocute or First Strike into this matchup. First Strike will be a little bit harder, but if you're confident in not taking too much poke, then go for that as well. You'll want to go Doran's Ring and Ignite, as well as Flash in this matchup, and looking for a very aggressive kill. The thing to note about Lux is her Q. Basically, if she uses her Q, you want to dodge that with your E. It's kind of a game of cat and mouse where you want to bait it out. If she uses her Q, then you can use the E to dodge it, but make sure that you don't use your E first, as it does allow her to get a quick and easy Q in on you. She's most likely going to keep range on you and try to keep a safe distance, so make sure that you close the gap using your E and hitting that as many times as you can. You want to play pretty safe in the early laning phase, as she does have an advantage and her E makes it very hard to farm minions, but you can't let yourself get bullied all the time. So once you reach level 3, you're going to want to go all in. Like I said, trying to bait out the Q as much as possible, but once that's down, using your E to close the gap, using the W to close it even further, and just doing a bunch of burst damage along with Ignite, killing her. Her ultimate is fantastic for Sylas to steal, as he can cast it in his E2 while he is in his E2, so it does a lot of burst damage, and it works very well for Sylas, also being on a very short cooldown, allowing him to steal it a lot. Malphite has the best ultimate in the game for Sylas. It does an insane amount of damage, which means that you'll have to take a sacrifice if you do end up laning against him. Although almost every time against a big tank like him, Conqueror, Riftmaker, and Demonic Embrace would be fantastic, unfortunately, when you see just such a beautiful ultimate, you want to go as much damage as humanly possible. In this case, I would take First Strike with Doran's Ring and Ignite. Although it's going to be hard to kill Malphite, you'll have an ease killing the rest of the team, and unfortunately, Malphite can't 1v5, so as long as you kill the entire team with his ultimate, that's perfectly fine. In the laning phase, You're going to want to kill him as many times as you can in the beginning because that's when he has the least amount of defenses, using quick trades with the first strike, gaining a lot of bonus gold and bonus damage. In this particular matchup, it's important to note that you should ult first and very aggressively. Even if you're not even going to fight, it's always a good idea to steal the Malphite ulti and then return to another lane, looking to roam around and get as many kills as possible. The laning phase is not too hard as they are both melee, and levels 1 through 3, you should look to be actually more aggressive than less because he has less defenses. In the Malzahar matchup, you want to make sure that you don't go first strike, as he does have a lot of poke and will probably never let you even use it. I would recommend taking Electrocute into this matchup, as he is quite squishy, as well as Doran's Ring and Flash and Ignite. Malzahar is pretty annoying, as he is going to use his abilities on you a lot, especially that E, so it's really hard to play into him, as he will shove you in the lane most of the time. In levels 1 through 3, it's important not to take too much poke and really use your mana on getting the minions and securing that CS rather than killing him. Once you reach around level 4 or 5, you can go in for the kill, but it's important that you get his passive out with your Q first, which is very good for Sylas. Luckily, he has that Q, so the cooldown is about 45 seconds. You want to throw that around as many times as you can, and once that's out, you can look for the kill. Malzahar is quite immobile before level 6, as he has no stun, but it's important not to tower dive him once he is level 6, as he can just press the outlay R button on you. In this matchup, once you reach level 4, you go in for the kill, trying to kill him, but make sure that the wave is not too big, as he does have a lot of minions. He will almost always have the minion advantage, as well as his Voidlings, so most of the time, the minions and Voidlings will do more damage to you than Malzahar himself, and it's very important to play around that, so making sure that you go in on him at the right time is also very important, and dodging those minions and Voidlings when you're trying to get the E2 on him. Stealing Malzahar's ultimate is fantastic for Sylas, and not only does it do a lot of damage, but it crowd controls someone for at least 3 seconds. I recommend stealing it, but make sure that you don't steal it while he has his passive available, because that will not allow you to steal the ultimate because it is a spell block. In the Mordekaiser matchup, it is important to go either first strike if you want to do early game damage but not as much late game, or Conqueror to do more damage late game or less damage in the early game. I would personally go first strike, as I want to put him down in the gutter as soon as I can in the beginning of the game. You want to go first strike with Doran's Ring and Ignite, but also going Doran's Shield with the Conqueror is also a good idea if you don't want to fight too much. Because he is melee, levels 1 through 3, he's not too scary as long as you play around it, using your E for some early game damage, even if you're at level 1, to get that first strike bonus damage gold. The thing about the Mordekaiser matchup is you want to play around his E with your own, using your dash to get out of sticky situations, and it's very important that when you steal Mordekaiser's ultimate, that you are the second one to do it. Mordekaiser's ultimate is fantastic for Sylas, and you can use it on anyone, but if it's a 1v1 with Mordekaiser, you want to make sure that he ulties you first. If you do end up ulting him second, then you will be the one doing the bonus damage, so that is a very big increase and something that you really want in the fight, so that's very important to be remembering of. The laning phase is not too bad. It's pretty easy because he is melee, looking for quick trades here and there, baiting out his W, and basically just constantly doing your combo until your cooldowns are out, doing this back and forth until he's at least 50% health, then looking for the execute with Ignite and killing him. In the Neeko matchup, it's important to go Doran's Ring as well as Electrocute and Ignite. You won't be able to use First Strike because she'll basically proc it off of you every time you want to. But in this matchup, it's important to use your dash as an evade. She does have an extremely painful combo if she does hit her root on you. So making sure that you don't use your dash too preemptively and waiting to bait out her own abilities is always a good idea. In the laning phase of levels 1 through 3, you're going to want to play pretty respectful, and she most likely will push you into your tower, so be sure to focus on using your mana and abilities for CSing rather than hurting her. Once you reach level 4 or 5 and have a few points into your abilities, you can look to just instantly one-shot her with Electrocute and Ignite, making sure that your sudden impact is active, and making sure that you land all of your abilities. Like I said though, it's important to wait for her to use her abilities first, so try to bait out her abilities before doing anything too crazy. Neeko's ultimate is fantastic for Sylas, as he can cast it during his E2, making some crazy outplays, especially if he has Ignite. I personally would take Neeko's ultimate as a priority more than other ones, and it allows Sylas to be engaged, but also giving him a defense mechanism after. Orianna is one of Sylas's biggest counters in the mid lane. Luckily, we don't see her as much as we used to because she's not as strong, and with the durability patch update, it makes her a little less completely annoying. But if you do end up running into her, make sure to go Electrocute, as First Strike will most likely not be able to proc because of her constant poke. Going Electrocute with Doran's Ring Start and Flash Ignite, allowing her to kind of push you into the lane in the levels 1 through 3, trying not to take too much damage and focusing on using your abilities and mana for CSing at tower rather than actually hurting her. Once you reach level 3, because she is quite squishy, you can look to actually go in, doing quick amounts of trades, but making sure that you don't take too much damage. Because of her E-Shield, you probably won't be able to one-shot her until the second or third trade. But once you're level 4 or 5 with a few points into your abilities, most likely Q, as you will want to put your first 3 points into Q in this matchup, making sure that you can CS and hit her from a distance. As long as you hit the Q, you can go in for the rest of the combo, locking her down so she takes the Q2 damage as well, and killing her, putting her behind in the laning phase. Orianna's ultimate is pretty interesting with Sylas, as he does not have a ball. We're not that kind of ball. But he uses it as if the ball is on himself, which it technically is. This is quite good if you want to use a burst combo, and you can cast it during your E2. So as long as you hit the chain on the E2, you can instantly cast it during your travel and be able to do a full combo, killing her in the blink of an eye or anyone else. So it's quite a good ultimate to steal. And in the new patch, the laning phase isn't as bad as it used to be, so Sylas plays into Orianna quite well. In the Qiyana matchup, you will want to go First Strike as well as Doran's Ring and Electrocute. Or I'm sorry, First Strike along with Doran's Ring with Ignite, doing a lot of damage. She is a pretty tough matchup for Sylas, but she offers a fantastic ult for him. Because she is melee, the laning phase isn't too bad, and you want to do quick and fast trades, nothing too long because she does quick and fast trades as well, but she is attack damage, allowing yourself to get the bonus damage from First Strike as well as the bonus gold. You don't really want to fight her unless you have the First Strike readily available. She most likely will push you into tower in the early phases of the laning phase, levels 1 through 3, because she does attack damage and can outtrade you, most likely going Electrocute. Afterwards, when she's around level 3 or 4, you want to make sure that you're playing around her dash, as she can use that to maneuver around your own E2 chain. Once she uses those abilities and making sure that she doesn't have that elemental grass making her invisible, you can do some pretty fast trades on her and kill her once you're level 4 or 5, using a few points into your W as the bonus damage as well as Ignite. Qiyana's ultimate is one of the best in the game for Sylas and can truly change the game, so I use it as a priority ultimate when I'm going against her, making sure that we take fights in the jungle or river, utilizing that to my own advantage, and Sylas can cast it during his E2 flight, making it do a bunch of damage and one-shotting someone before they even have time to react. If you're fast on your fingers, you could actually dash out of Qiyana's ult as well with your own dash, so it's important to take note of that and play around her. This is a pretty even skill matchup, but at the end of the day, it really just comes down to skill of the individual player. In the Rumble matchup, you want to make sure that you do not go First Strike. Although he is melee, his Q makes it very hard and pokes you a lot, not allowing you to use that First Strike very much at all. In this matchup, I recommend going Electrocute with Doran's Ring and Ignite, trying to go for the kill lane, but also being extremely respectful of his early game dominance. Rumble counters Sylas and most mid laners that are mages and melee for the sake of his Q. In the early laning, levels 1 through 3, you want to be very respectful and not try to take any damage from him, as he will usually push you in a tower. You want to use your abilities and mana to farm the minions, and wait until you're at least level 3 to go in for some trades. After you do a few trades whenever your Electrocute is up and your cooldowns are ready, you can go in for the kill with your Ignite, as he is not a very mobile champion other than the movement speed he gets from his W alone. Trundle's ultimate is fantastic for Sylas to steal. Unfortunately, it's very hard to pull off, so you have to be comfortable with Rumble's ulti initially. Playing Sylas and getting comfortable with the ultimate will help you a lot, as it does take practice. But it is an extremely good ultimate for Sylas to steal, as it does as much damage Rumble would normally do. In this matchup, Sylas can win in the late game, but it's very important to be respectful of Rumble's early lane dominance, allowing him to push you into tower, but otherwise, other than that, killing him in the instant and not being as afraid once you have your combos. I personally would run into him not using my dash, but using my W and Q, and then using the dash to get away before you can do any damage back at. In the Ryze matchup, you're going to want to go Electrocute as well as Doran's Ring with Flash Ignite. Ryze is pretty annoying, and he does have CC to lock you down. Most Ryze players will go Phase Rush, so he's quite slippery. in the laning phase and in general. It's important to bait that phase rush out as it is a 20 to 25 second cooldown. So once that's out of the way, you can use your combos, but I wouldn't try to kill him while he has 600 movement speed, as it will be quite hard to use your E2 to land that chain on him. In the laning phase, as he is ranged and uses a lot of mana to poke you down, it's important to allow him to push you into the tower and respect his early game aggression. Using your abilities and mana to farm the minions at tower, not missing too much CS, and staying within XP range. Once you're level 3, you can look to kill him, making sure that his W is on cooldown, as that does put a stop to your damage source. Basically, playing Rise is kind of playing against himself, being conscious of his phase rush and his abilities, mainly his W, and trying to dodge his own abilities like his Q with your dash. In this laning phase, Rise's ultimate is probably one of the worst in the game and doesn't really come into value until later in the game if you want to use it for utility. I would recommend not stealing it ever, to be honest, unless you have a very good team comp and you're looking to get a Baron rush somewhere in the game or look for a big push. For Seraphine, she has a lot of pokes, so we are not going to want to go First Strike. We will go Electrocute with Doran's Ring, Flash, and Ignite in this matchup. She's actually one of the better mid laners right now, and she deals a ton of damage while also dealing a lot of CC. So in the early lane of this matchup, levels 1 through 3, we're going to play pretty respectful and not even try to get our Electrocute combo off. Even if we get an Electrocute trade off, she's going to do a lot of damage. So you really want to focus on just using your abilities to farm, letting her push you into the tower, and just farming the wave at the tower, using your abilities and mana for that. Seraphine has a lot of damage with her Q, has a lot of sustain with her W, and is able to slow and root with her E. It's especially important to play around her slow and root of her E, and using your dash to evade this as well as her Q at some moments. She's a very hard matchup, and for the most part, unless you find an opening, because at the end of the day, she is immobile, you just have to make sure that you either go in and be extremely confident, or you don't fight her at all. Otherwise, she will poke you down. For this matchup, I suggest waiting until you're at least level 4 or level 5 and putting your first 3 points into your Q, as you're probably not going to get close enough to use your W on her. Putting 3 points into Q and then the rest into W is always a good idea in matchups like this that have a lot of poke, and just playing from a distance until you can get a gank or until you're level 6. Seraphine's ultimate is one of the best for Sylas, as it can work really well with him and he can cast it during his E2. So prioritizing this in a game of for her ultimate can go a long way and truly change the fight. I would look to kill her first and look for picks to assassinate her before a fight starts, as that can make the game much easier for you. In the Swain matchup, I suggest going Electrocute with Flash and Ignite, as well as starting Doran's Ring. He does have a lot of poke, but he doesn't have much range, and the only thing to worry about is his E. So in this case, you want to respect levels 1 through 3, but once you're level 3, you can go in on him. It's also a very good idea if you would like to go Conqueror in this matchup, as it does do amazing with his ultimate, allowing Riftmaker, and honestly, Conqueror is just way better for Swain, so go Conqueror against Swain, go Flash Ignite, and just go for the kill lane. Prioritize his ult, because his ult is amazing if you're going Riftmaker Demonic, allowing you to continuously deal damage, burn them, and heal yourself. It is a fantastic ult for Sylas, and you'll want to prioritize that more than any other ultimate. In the laning phase, you want to play safe from levels 1 through 3, but once you reach level 3, you can start going in for trades with the Conqueror, making sure that you stack to at least 12 stacks and using your W as the last ability to maximize your damage as well as your healing. In this matchup, you want to use your dash to evade his own E and make sure that you can get in on him without any trouble, as he is quite immobile other than that E. So it's important to dodge that at all times and prioritize his ult in team fights, as well as building a Zonius so you can stay in the fight as long as possible. In the Syndra matchup, you're going to want to go Electrocute as well as Doran's Ring, Flash, and Ignite. You don't want to go First Strike, as she does have a lot of poke and will not allow you to use it, making your rune basically useless. In this matchup, Syndra is very prominent in levels 1 through 3 and is one of Sylas' most basic counters. She's pretty annoying with her Q, especially because her Q mana got decreased recently, so you want to evade those as much as possible and be really important with your fancy footwork. You don't want to use your dash, because You want to save that for her E rather than her Qs, and her E just makes it 10 times harder for Sylas. So this is a very hard matchup in general, and I don't suggest fighting her at all and just focusing on CSing and waiting for your jungler to come gank, as she basically denies you from doing anything with her E, constantly poking you with her Q and slowing you with your W. Unfortunately, Syndra's ultimate, when you steal it, only allows you to have 3 orbs, which deals a good amount of damage, but unfortunately not as much as she would. It's important to play quite safe in this matchup and kind of just wait for a gank, using your Electrocute and Ignite for instant burst, but you probably want to put the first 3 points of your Q into this laning phase because you won't get close enough to use your W on her ever. Utilizing her ultimate for instant burst damage later in the game, but not prioritizing it over other ultimates that might be better for him. In the Taliyah matchup, you're going to want to go Electrocute, Ignite, as well as Doran's Ring. This matchup is very hard, especially because Taliyah got buffed recently, in which if you use your dash in her E, so your E and her E, it roots you. Taliyah has insane poke and honestly makes the game very hard to play against her. In the early levels 1 through 3, you'll have to absolutely respect her, pushing yourself into the tower and not allowing yourself to do much damage to her. Although, when you do reach level 3, you can look for the opening. Just make sure that her E is on cooldown before doing so, and you use your dash to evade her W. It's very important to play around her E and not using your own dash within it, because at the end of the day, it will wreck you. We want to put the first 3 points of our abilities into our Q, as we're probably not going to be able to get as close to her as possible. So lowering her HP whenever our Q is up just by slamming it down on her and trying to get her low enough so we can execute her with the Flash Ignite. It's totally fine if you want to go Doran's Shield start. You don't particularly have to go Conqueror in this matchup, but going a Doran's Shield in a poke matchup can always help go a long way. Unfortunately, Taliyah's ultimate isn't too great for Sylas, as it doesn't deal any damage, but it is fantastic for roaming if you want to help your bot or mid lane out. So I do recommend stealing it, but make sure that you're in the fog of war when using it so it doesn't give away what you're kind of trying to do. In the Talon matchup, you're going to be wanting to go First Strike along with Doran's Ring and Ignite, going for the kill lane, and it's basically a game of who kills who. In the early matchup, it's important to dodge his W, as that will cancel your First Strike, but as you're both melee, you can trade in very well. The thing is, Talon will always try to do a level 1, level 2 cheese, and he will almost always beat with his passive and with his Ignite, so it's very important to play safe until you are at least level 3. This is the only melee matchup where I actually play safe in, just because his burst potential is so high in the early game, so be sure to be aware of that and not try to even get close to him for even a small trade levels 1 or 2. Once you're level 3, you can use this to kill him very easily, as he only has 2 abilities with his E not counting, doing full damage and killing him with Electrocute, First Strike and Ignite, dealing bonus damage and gaining bonus gold out of it, allowing yourself to snowball. Just make sure that you dodge his W before using a combo and waiting for your First Strike to be ready. Talon's ultimate is great for Sylas, as it does give him utility, movement speed, and deals damage, as it does do with AP scaling. So in this matchup, I like to take it, especially if I'm going Assassin Sylas, which is why I highly recommend going First Strike, Electrocute, or First Strike and Ignite, allowing yourself to be an Assassin, stealing this ultimate, and getting into the backline, bursting down the enemy backline before a fight even starts. In the Twisted Fate matchup, I would recommend going Electrocute as well as Doran's Ring and Ignite for starting items and summoner spells. This matchup is pretty tough, as he does have a lot of poke, but it's pretty easy at the same time if you play around it, waiting for his yellow card at all times and showing that he's quite an immobile champion. So as long as you don't let him play you from a distance, you can kill him very easily. It's important to respect his early game range, so you want to let him push you into tower levels 1 through 3 and focus on using your abilities and mana to gain farm and XP. Once you're level 3, you want to wait for him to use his gold card or whatever W he uses, and that will be your time to go in. You don't want to engage while he still has his W up, so you want to wait for it to either be used or on cooldown, and then you can look for a kill. Twisted Fate's ultimate, although has a very long cooldown, it's pretty great for Sylas, allowing him to roam the map just as Twisted Fate does and match any roams that he does, catching him out and stopping him before he can kill your own team. Twisted Fate matchup is pretty easy, but it's just a game of playing chicken and making sure that his cooldown is low, not taking too much poke from him, and not allowing him to outrun you. So it's important to get boots in this matchup early on, and I recommend putting 3 points into Q before putting the rest into your W, as he does do a lot of damage from a long distance, so you want to be able to do the same to him as well. In the Veigar matchup, you want to go Electrocute along with Doran's Ring, Flash, and Ignite. Veigar is quite annoying as he is ranged and can poke you a lot with abilities, but he's very immobile at the same time. You basically want to play around his cage, as his cage has a really long cooldown. Unfortunately, you can't really dash out of it, so you want to dash before he puts it down or basically just bait it out. Once he doesn't have the cage, he's pretty easy to kill. Unfortunately, he is a pretty small figure, so it's hard to hit your E. Make sure that you're very exact and on point, but once you hit that E2 on him, he's basically dead in the blink of an eye. In levels 1 through 3, you'll most likely let him push you in a tower as you don't want to take too much health away, but once you hit level 3, you want to go all in. I do recommend putting all your points in a W for this matchup and not Q, as like I said, he is annoying, but he's very easy to play around as long as he uses his E, and once you hit level 3, as long as you do a full combo, you can kill him. He also offers a fantastic ultimate for Sylas, allowing Sylas to do a lot of damage and get people down to a low percent of base health so that he can deal even more damage. So I highly recommend stealing this ultimate, and you can also use it during the E2 flight, which helps do a lot of damage in a short amount of time, not allowing the enemy to use the reaction. In the Vel'Koz matchup, you'll be wanting to go Electrocute along with Doran's Ring, Flash, and Ignite. Vel'Koz has a lot of range, but he's an extremely immobile champion, rendering him very vulnerable to Sylas' burst damage. In the levels 1 through 3, you'll want to play pretty safe, allowing him to push you into tower and using your mana and abilities to farm the minions. But once you hit level 3, be sure to go in on him and try to deal as much damage. Just be careful of his E, as that can cancel your W and E2. It is a knock up and a disable. So playing and using your E around his, making sure that you can bait his knock up before you use your dash is very important, and using it as an evade instead. Unfortunately, Vel'Koz's ultimate doesn't proc on Sylas because it's not true damage with his passive, but it still deals a lot of damage and it has a long range, so I recommend using it if you need a closer executioner and the enemy flashed away or something like that. For the most part, Vel'Koz is a pretty easy matchup as long as you don't take too much damage in the early levels 1 through 3 and you dominate him using your own abilities and playing smart around his as well. In the next matchup, I recommend going Electrocute with Ignite as well as a Doran's Ring to start. Vex is a pretty tough character and she does have a lot of CC, so it's important to play around that, and she has a lot of poke. Vex in this season is probably one of Sylas' biggest counters, as she is very tanky, has a shield, and can CC Sylas off of him if he gets too close. For that reason, it's very important to play around Vex's cooldowns and kind of bait out her abilities to your own comfort. Using her abilities has a long cooldown reduction, so if she uses her W, it's about 15 seconds of an opening, making sure that you can do something there. It's important to respect her early laning phase, as she does have a lot of poke, deals a lot of damage with her basic attacks, and can do a lot of damage with her Q, so allowing her to push you into tower is honestly a good thing, using your abilities and mana to farm the minions and gain XP at your tower to the best of your ability. Once you're around level 4 or 5, you can go in, but I do recommend putting 3 points into Q before putting any points into W, because most of the time you won't be able to get very close to her. Using your Flash, Ignite, Sudden Impact, and Electrocute, you're able to kill her once you reach level 4 or 5, as long as you're able to get a few Q pokes down. Her ultimate is also fantastic for Sylas as well, because it allows him to transfer to an enemy champion, getting right on top of them, dealing a lot of damage. Just make sure that your aim is on point and you use it on the right target, as Vex is quite small, but it can deal a ton of damage for Sylas, using it to your own advantage. In the Victor matchup, it is important to go Electrocute as well as Doran's Ring, Flash, and Ignite as starting items and summoner spells, because he does have a lot of poke, and Victor most often goes Phase Rush. He's pretty annoying for the first few levels of the game and hard to get a greasy little hands on him. For that reason, we're going to want to put our first 3 points into Q before we put any points into W, and allow him to push us into our tower so we don't take too much damage. We want to use our mana and abilities to focus on farming and getting EXP so we get the last hits and don't lose too much gold. And once we're level 3, we can look for engages as long as we can bait out the Phase Rush. Victor basically doesn't have anything except for a lot of movement speed with his Q, so it's important to go around that and bait out his Phase Rush and Q. Playing your dash around his E as well is important, as it does do a lot of damage, and using the E to get out of his W as well. Sylas can use Victor's ultimate during his E2, so it's very important to steal that, and Victor's ultimate is one of the best for Sylas to steal, so I highly recommend prioritizing that. After getting level 4 or 5, you can look to get a kill, using your Q as many times as you can to poke him beforehand, hopefully getting him low enough where an execute is possible with E, W, and Ignite. The Vladimir matchup, we are going to want to go Electrocute as well as Doran's Ring, Flash, and Ignite for our starting items and Summoner Spell. It's important to go Ignite into Vladimir as he does do a lot of healing and he's very annoying in the beginning of the laning phase. You don't want to go Conqueror and you don't want to take too long with Vladimir as he will out-sustain you. So it's important to be very aggressive towards him as he is a scaling champion. So you want to be as aggressive as possible before he gets to that point. His cooldowns are very long in the early game, so don't be too afraid of him. Even levels 1 through 3, you can play quite aggressive as you will probably out-damage him, and it's important to keep the tempo up. You want to continue poking and trading with him, and once you're level 3, going for an all-in with the Ignite and full combo with Electrocute. It's important to take note of his W, though, because if you are casting your W and he goes into his own pool, the heal will not go off and damage won't be dealt. The good thing is the pool is a very long cooldown, so as long as you can bait that out, Vladimir is very easy to kill as he is immobile otherwise. His ultimate is fantastic for Sylas as it deals damage and heals, so it's very important to take that, especially if there are team fights, dominating him in the early game and then clearing the house in the late game. In the Xerath matchup, we are going to be wanting to go Electrocute along with Doran's Ring starting item and Flash Ignite for our summoner spells. Xerath has a lot of poke, but he's also very immobile. The only thing that's stopping us from completely one-shotting him is his E stun, so it's important to play around that. In the early levels 1 through 3, you don't have to play too scared because he is quite squishy and he doesn't have all of his abilities, so be sure to get up in his face using your E1 and E2 to do that extra damage along with your passive auto attacks. Xerath is pretty intense, but if you can keep up the pressure and not allow him to have that distance closing the gap with him, most of the time it's a very easy matchup. You want to keep up the pressure and keep the lane in the middle of the lane, keep the wave in the middle of the lane. Once you're level 3, you can use an entire combo, killing him with Flash and Ignite, using your full combo along with Electrocute. It's important to take note that he has the stun with his E though, and the slow from his W, so using your E as an evade and not an engage is very important, as if you use your E to begin the fight, he'll just basically lock you down, poke you, and you'll have to run away with your tail between your legs. Xerath's ultimate is pretty great for Sylas as well, as it deals as much damage as Xerath would as well. It's very good to steal, but not if you're trying to be very up close and personal. I recommend taking it and then running away using the ultimate to kill people that are running away. For the Yasuo matchup, we are going to be wanting to go first strike along with Doran's Ring start, Flash, and Ignite. The Yasuo matchup is pretty tough, as you really don't want to fight him levels 1 through 3, and in an auto attack battle when they're most likely almost always running lethal tempo, he will definitely outdamage you. It's important to play respectful and go in for a very little trade, but make sure to run away after that, as a long fight, like I said, will do a lot for you. You want to make sure that you fight him before he fights you, so you can get the first strike extra bonus damage and gold from him. We want to do very fast trades with Yasuo and then run away very fast until our ability are back up, using our cooldowns to our advantage. So going in on him, using our WQ auto attack, and then using our E dash to get out of there before he can trade back at us is a perfect way to trade with him. Going against Yasuo, we want to stack our W first as our ability, letting ourselves do fast, quick trades while healing us up. Once we get enough of these trades in, with first strike, we want to make sure that we go in when we're about level 4 or 5 with 3 points into our W, doing a complete combo, making sure that we also use our Q to knock out his passive shield before doing anything. So make sure that before you do any trades, you constantly have that Q up and ready, you get his shield out of the way, and that way you can deal even more damage and one-shot him. Yasuo's ultimate is pretty great for Sylas, as a lot of people don't realize, but you can actually knock up on your E2 and use the Yasuo ultimate for that. So sealing the Yasuo ultimate is pretty great, especially if you have teammates that also have knockups. I highly recommend stealing this ultimate, but make sure that you don't steal it while he has Wind Wall up, because if Yasuo does use Wind Wall, he can stop you from taking the ultimate and making your ultimate go on cooldown without gaining anything at all. In the Yone matchup, it's very similar to Yasuo, in which we want to go first strike as well as Doran's Ring as a starting item with Flash and Ignite. Yone is very strong in the early game as he does have lethal tempo, so fighting him levels 1 through 3 very long time are not going to work in our favor, as he just basically auto attacks us to death. It's important that we go in for very fast trades and allow Yone to push us into our tower using our abilities to farm to the best of our ability. We want to make sure that we go in for fast trades, but that he doesn't hit us first. It's important that we do really quick trades using our abilities all the time while we have first strike up, and then running away For example, we want to W into him, use our Q, auto attack, and then use our E dash to get away before he can do any damage in return to us. It's important to keep note of that, and as long as you do a few traits like that, putting points into your W for first so that you can heal up a lot and be able to do these very often. After a few traits, as long as he's at about 50% health, we can go in for the kill as long as first strike is up, using Ignite to our advantage for the bonus true damage and bonus gold, killing him. Yone's ultimate is pretty great for Sylas, as he can cast it during his E2 as well, dealing a lot of damage and allowing Sylas to really make a difference in the fight as Yone might would. Also being able to close the gap, getting to the enemies really close and being able to do our damage, or we can use it as a defense mechanism to get out of a sticky situation. In the Zed matchup, we want to make sure that we go first strike along with Doran's Ring start, Flash, and Ignite as our summoner spells. The Zed matchup is actually pretty favorable for Sylas, as he can use his ultimate very well against him, but there are things to take a note of. In levels 1 through 3, we want to play pretty respectful to Zed, as he most likely is running Electrocute, looking for those quick bursts, and we want to make sure that we don't give him any advantage, as he does outtrade us in the beginning. We want to allow him to come to our tower and farming at our tower using our abilities and mana to farm the minions to the best of our ability. Once we hit level 3, we can look for quick trades with Zed as long as we have our first strike up and we hit him first. It's very important to keep note of Zed's shadows, as they are basically his lifeline. Without the shadow, he's very immobile, so we usually want to bait that out, and then once he uses the shadow, we can look in for an all-in, killing him at around level 4 or 5 when we have a few points into our W. It's also very important that we build a Zhonya's in this matchup, at least for our second item, as it does counter Zed very well, and that when you steal Zed's ultimate, you make sure that you don't steal it while he's in a shadow as well. If you do, it's very hard to do and it's very bad timing, but your ultimate won't go through and you won't gain anything. Zed's ultimate is also great for Sylas, as it does scale with his AP, so it's very important that you ult second in a fight with Zed though, as that will usually trip them up and make it a lot harder for them to deal damage to you and you deal damage to them, allowing you to be basically the better Zed at the end of the day. In the Ziggs matchup, we want to go Electrocute, Ignite, as well as a Doran's Ring for the start. Ziggs has a lot of poke and he's really annoying, but he's also very squishy and easy to kill at the same time. Unfortunately, because he's a small figure, it makes it hard to hit our E2, so make sure that you're very exact on hitting that. Ziggs is very annoying for levels 1 through 3, so we're going to allow him to push us into tower, making us use our abilities and mana to farm minions to the best of our ability. Once we're about level 3, we can look for kills, but we have to make sure that we note that Ziggs' W actually cancels our dashes and lunges. So if we use our W while Ziggs is knocked up, it won't go through, we won't be able to deal damage, and we won't heal. Luckily, Ziggs is very immobile aside from his W, so if we can get around all of his poke and close the gap, he's very easy to kill. I highly recommend using your E to dash in, using the W to even get closer to him, and then doing a full combo, making it very easy to deal tons of damage and one-shotting him once you're about level 3 with Ignite and Electrocute. Ziggs' ultimate is pretty great for Sylas, as he can cast it during his E2 and he can use it at a very long distance, basically making it do as much damage as Ziggs, making it a very favorable matchup for Sylas at the end of the day. In the Zoe matchup, last but not least, we want to run Electrocute as well as Flash and Ignite for our summoner spells, and a Doran's Ring to start. Zoe is very, very annoying, and in this matchup, we're going to want to put the first 3 points into our Q, and then the rest into our W. We're going to want to keep our distance against Zoe and allow her to poke us, or try not to poke us as much as possible, making us go into the tower and using our abilities to farm minions to the best of our ability. Once we hit level 3, we can look for some kill potential, but we have to make sure that we're conscious of her E. We basically don't want to use our dash until she uses her E, using it as an evade. If we use our E first, it gives her a really easy bubble for us and we kind of die. So make sure that you wait for her to use her E, baiting it out, and then going in for a full burst kill. Putting 3 points into Q will make it easy to deal damage to her while being at a respectable and safe distance. And although Zoe's ultimate is not great for Sylas and hard to play against, it's actually very easy to predict. Make sure that when you're level 6 that you can predict where Zoe uses her ultimate, and instead of trying to kill her where she comes out, try to go back to where she went in to begin with, using that as a very easy relay and setup to do a full combo and basically one-shot her before she can get away. It's important to note that Sylas can take her ultimate and use it for a quick W or an execute. Although it's not the best ultimate, sometimes it could be a great finisher to close the gap, using it to, like I said, ultimate W, auto attack, and then get out of there very fast. Alrighty, welcome to the end of the video. If you made it here, I love you and I appreciate you, and I really hope that you guys enjoyed the video. I put an insane amount of work into it. It's literally more than so many hours in, I can't even remember. I had to take so many breaks. It's so exhausting, but I'm happy to do it. I love Sylas as a champion. I love to be the Sylas guy, and I love to encourage people to play him because honestly Sylas is just such a fantastic champion. And I've made a lot of champions in this game, but everyone always asks, do you ever get sick of Sylas? And I really don't. He's just so fun. He is so good, and I think everything about him right now is perfect, which is why I really wanted to make this video. So really appreciate you guys. If you did like the video, I mean, be sure to give it a like, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. I mean, I don't like to ask people to like and subscribe, but I guess if it's something like this, I would really appreciate it, as I do put an insane amount of work and effort into these. That's what matters most to me. It matters most helping you guys out. So I hope at the end of the day this helped you out, and I hope you get to the rank that you want with Sylas, and I hope you have a fantastic time doing it. So I'm always curious to who actually watches till the end of these videos. If you really did, I appreciate it. If you're a real one, type in spaghetti in the comments so I know. So I will know that only the people who made it this far will type in spaghetti, and everyone else will probably be so confused. But I hope you guys really do have a great rest of your day. I hope you guys have good luck on the Rift, and this helps you, and not only helps you get to the break what you want, but I hope this helps you have more fun in the game, because I really do think Sylas is just a lot of fun. And without further ado, I will see you guys next time.